And we are underway with our first race of the day. It's final B of the women's pairs race. These crews having gone through the heats and the semi-finals in order to get qualifications both into the A final, and those not lucky enough to make it into the A final racing here in the B final for positions 7 to 12 overall in the women's pairs race. In lane 1 we have China, in lane 2 Australia, lane 3 Netherlands, lane 4 Switzerland, lane 5 Croatia, and in lane 6 the United States of America. The crews that went off very cleanly, all up in the 40s, settling down now into the high 30s for the rates, and leading it out at the moment, centre of the course, is the crew that were the fastest out of the semi-finals. It is the crew from the Netherlands in lane 3, so they're just coming up on the surge, a little bit of a lead ahead of the Swiss beside them in lane 4. They're the 1 and 2 at the moment, but really stroke for stroke they're matching each other on boat speed as well, and if anything the Swiss crew may be coming up to take the lead on the surge ahead of the Netherlands. They're the 1 and 2, a little bit further back then to the crews from Australia and USA at the moment in 3rd and 4th, and the crews from China and Croatia bringing us into 5th and 6th, but with just 10 metres separating all the crews coming through the first few hundred metres, all to play for here with all crews overlapping.
È partita la prima finale B, duessenza femminile, che vede in questo momento la formazione dell'Olanda far l'andatura, ma è tallonata veramente da vicino dalla formazione svizzera, che cerca di mantenere il contatto. Pochi centimetri la differenza fra le due formazioni che stanno lì davanti, 37 colpi al minuto il loro ritmo, perché poi dietro ci sono anche gli equipaggi dell'Australia 2 che cercano di rimanere agganciati al trenino di testa. Un bel passaggio ai primi 500 metri di stacchi molto contenuti tra le prime 3 posizioni, Svizzera, Olanda e Australia. Queste sono i battistrada in questo momento.
So just 3 seconds separating the crews as they went through the 500-metre mark. All tied up at the front with the 2 crews leading it out, just changing the lead on the surge every stroke that they take between the Netherlands and Switzerland. And Tim, a very familiar sight for you to see the Netherlands leading out a crew approaching the 1,000-metre mark.
Yeah, a great start by the Dutch, well, I would say their strength is more in this middle bit, but perhaps a little change of race plan for this B final for Ilse Kolkman and Claire de Kock. A new combination, both of these athletes racing in the women's 8 and Plovdiv at the Europeans, getting a silver medal there. Now in the pair, because there's no Dutch 8 men or women at this World Cup here in Varese, all the crews splitting up and finding new combinations and hopefully finding a bit more speed in the process. 2 crews leading out. I'd say the Swiss now made a nice little move there in the second 500, because they've opened up almost half a length ahead of the Dutch, who are still second at the moment, and behind them the field is, well, tightly packed. I'd say the crew from Australia too in lane number 2, currently 3rd at the moment. Those 3 crews trying to separate themselves a bit from the People's Republic of China, the Jurkovic sisters from Croatia, and the American combination, that new combination of Drap and Kinast in lane number 6, both of them making their senior level debut here on Lago di Varese. 1,000 meters gone. Pretty good push again from the Swiss, almost now a length clear ahead of the Dutch in 2nd position.
Che attacco dalle svizzere, ricordiamo arrivate quarte a Parigi nel 4 di coppia e ora si stanno dilettando in questa specialità del 2 senza, molto molto tecnico, 2 specialità diverse, ma stanno difendendo bene questa prima posizione nonostante siano partite dietro l'Olanda 2, che attualmente si trova in seconda posizione a un paio di secondi da loro, con la Svizzera che continua a guadagnare acqua. In terza posizione per adesso troviamo l'Australia 2 con Codle e Easton, che con 36 colpi al minuto cercano di mantenere salda quella posizione acquistata e cercando di scappare dalle sorelle Jurkovic, Croazia, che aumentando i colpi cercano di guadagnare più velocità possibile, perché ci stiamo avvicinando agli ultimi 500 metri della gara, dove bisogna dare tutto, perché nonostante sia una finale B, ogni posizione conta, è sempre un'ottima prova del proprio allenamento, di come si è lavorati. A chiudere abbiamo invece l'equipaggio della Cina e poi gli Stati Uniti.
Not much chopping and changing at the front of the field. The Swiss actually putting in a bit of a burst once more to get clear water margin ahead of the Dutch combination to their left. So a great race there from Switzerland, not phased by the early leaders from the Netherlands, and really pushing through here in the thick of the racing. Approaching 1500 meters, they've opened up almost 3 seconds now ahead of the Netherlands' second position. Australia just clinging on to third overall at 1500, but the Jurkovic sisters from Croatia really pushing on there. The outside lanes, the United States of America and the People's Republic of China locked in a battle of their own, clear water down on the front runners. Currently the Chinese are having the better of the argument at this stage of the race, but a great move there from the Swiss, great boat speed, but the Dutch currently fastest boat out on the water, so we'll see if they can sprint past the Swiss.
These two crews raced in two different semi-finals, and it was the Dutch crew that had the fastest out at the time, so I'm wondering maybe the Swiss crew had a look at that yesterday evening and decided that we have to go for this in the first 1,000. That's exactly what they've done. They moved out into the lead coming through the halfway mark, and they've held on to that lead with the Dutch on a rise now, but they've 20 metres of ground to make up in the run-in towards the finish. They're down to the last few hundred. Switzerland looking good, Netherlands in second place, and now the Australian crew charging as well, taking the rate up to 38 strokes per minute. They're going for the line that bit earlier and looking to get back and past the Dutch crew if they can into that second place. No doubt about the leaders of Switzerland.
Ottima la sintonia delle atlete svizzere che evidentemente non hanno pagato dazio passando dal 4 di coppia al 2 senza, stanno lì davanti, continuano a fare l'andatura, mentre perfetta la crescita, la velocità delle gemelle croate che stanno portandosi in seconda posizione lasciando dietro l'Olanda e l'Australia che in questo momento sembrano pagare l'accelerazione delle gemelle croate.
So real charge on for the finish here. The Croatian Jurkovic twins just coming back, and it looks like passing out the Australians and the Dutch to secure second place. And 8th overall ahead of the Dutch, just crossing there in third ahead of Australia, People's Republic of China and the USA just coming to close out the B final of the women's pairs. And it was Lisa Lurcher in the bow seat, Celia Dupre in the stroke seat for Switzerland, crossing the line there, 7:13.24, led through 500 into 1,000 and kept that clear water in the run into the finish. A fantastic finish by the Jurkovic twins of Croatia to move from 4th place into 2nd overall in the B final, with the Netherlands in 3rd, Australia 4th, China in 5th and USA 6th. Already at 1,000 metres is the next race, the B final of the men's pairs. And again, a familiar sight, Tim, it's the Dutch leading it out.
Yeah, the Dutch were amazing out of the start. First 500 metres was for the Olympic champions in the men's quad, Lennart van Lierop and Finn Florijn here in lane 6. But the fact that they are racing in lane 6 means they weren't the quickest boat to qualify for this B final. We'll have to look at the centre lanes for Denmark and Australia for those quick qualifiers for this B final. But the challenge actually coming from Uzbekistan. Karminov in the bow seat there, well, pushing on together with his stroke to produce a phenomenal second 500 meters. They actually led the Dutch across the 1,000-meter mark by 1/100th of a second, but they are really on the move. But the Dutch have responded, and they are basically level for first and second. And then we look to Australia, Denmark and Sweden for the other places. The only crew struggling at this stage of the race is Czechia in lane number 1, but it's still anybody's race with 750 meters still left to row.
Che confronto serratissimo, sono passate in un secondo esattamente 5 imbarcazioni. È stata una lotta fin dalla partenza, perché anche ai primi 500 metri erano uno di fianco all'altro, ai 1.000 uno di fianco all'altro, e sicuramente non molleranno neanche un colpo fino alla fine, quindi sarà davvero entusiasmante seguire specialmente gli ultimi 250 metri di gara dove si attaccheranno l'un l'altro. Troviamo ancora Dobbiamo adesso in vantaggio nelle corsie centrali Danimarca 2 che sta aumentando i colpi, con 38 colpi al minuto sta cercando di scappare dalla Svezia, dall'Uzbekistan e dall'Australia che sono vicine. Però attenzione, perché l'Olanda, i campioni olimpici nel 4 di coppia a Parigi, non stanno mollando un colpo ed è una gara fino all'ultimo metro, fino all'ultima palata, un po' più attardata Podrazil e Nedela nella Repubblica Ceca, e ora guardiamo come si svolgeranno gli ultimi 400 metri di gara.
Now the quickest qualifiers for the B final come to the front. Sundergaard and Mortensen from Denmark now leading the race, opening up a decent margin over all crews. The Dutch second position overall, and then you can throw a blanket across Uzbekistan, Australia and Sweden, Richie.
So this is what we've seen from the Danish crew. They're similar in their semi-finals and in the heat as well, where they turned it on in the last 500. They've moved into the lead now, coming from second and third through 1,000 metres. So they're leading it out at the moment, still on the charge. As Tim was saying, very little between all the crews from Uzbekistan, Australia and from Sweden, all in the mix, as indeed at the Netherlands. So it's all to play for as they wind up for the finish, but looking good and timing here from the Danish crew powering to the line.
Incredibile equilibrio ancora su questa finale B del due senza maschile, che fino ai 1500 metri ha visto 5 equipaggi quasi sulla stessa linea. Adesso negli ultimi 200 metri la Danimarca cerca di fare la differenza, la Svezia prova ad attaccare i campioni olimpici del 4 di coppia olandese, che sono in terza posizione in questo momento. Un bel rush finale per tutti gli equipaggi con Danimarca lì davanti.
Huge sprint finish from everyone coming into the line, but it is going to be Sundergaard and Mortensen of Denmark taking the win, 3/4 of length just in the end, ahead of the really good finish there from the Netherlands on the inside, just coming in to secure third, I believe. Ahead, it was the Swedish crew, again charging there from 5th place, coming through the 500 to go into second. So the Danish crew taking the win there. Sweden, fantastic last 500 for them to see them into second ahead of the Netherlands. And the early leaders, Uzbekistan back in 4th ahead of Australia and Czechia in 6th. That closes out the B final of the men's pairs. And we are already underway with the next race, the B final of the men's doubles sculls, gone through 500 metres. And it is the People's Republic of China leading it out just on the surge ahead of Great Britain and Italy. Less than a second separating 1, 2 and 3 positions at the moment. And very much within striking distance, the Netherlands, United States of America and the second Dutch cruise in this B final. So we're going to head straight up to Tim and catch the action. All of it there in lane 1 with the People's Republic of China leading it out.
Yeah, great start by the Chinese. They've really taken this race by the scruff of the neck. Quick rhythm from them as well, 39 strokes a minute. Looks really dynamic out on the water, and they are leading the crew from Great Britain at the moment of Gare and Schroeder. Also relatively young athletes from GB. They are just a few feet behind on the Chinese double. Then Italy, I think, third across 1,000, and then it was basically level between the two doubles from the Netherlands and the United States of America. An interesting race to see what this young combination from the Netherlands of Thijs Ruijken and Beer Florijn. We saw his brother race in the previous race in the just a few moments ago in the men's pair, getting a third overall, and it's great to see that young Dutch combination racing, and they'll probably want to win from their more senior teammates from the Netherlands, and they will go all out, I'm sure. They're currently 6th at the moment, just a couple of tenths down on the Dutch one combination, but it's still, or it was China still leading, but you can see GB now really moving on, getting their noses ahead, about a canvas now, GB ahead of China, and then it is Italy in third.
Con 36 colpi al minuto è la Gran Bretagna a battere la strada per questa finale B del doppio maschile. Deve stare attenta però alla Cina, che sta aumentando i colpi. Interessante vedere la strategia di gara che ogni nazione ha anche per una finale B. Troviamo al terzo posto l'equipaggio italiano con Tedoldi e Prati, che hanno svolto dalla batteria delle gare bellissime, sfidandosi con grandi campioni del canottaggio mondiale. Seguito poi dall'Olanda, che è in corsia esterna, quindi sicuramente un po' più svantaggiata a livello di vento, e quindi deve gestire anche le condizioni atmosferiche presentate in quella corsia. Quindi arrivati ormai all'ultimo 500 metri di gara, dove bisogna dare tutto quello che si ha. Abbiamo ancora la Gran Bretagna in testa, seguita dalla bellissima Italia, Cina, Olanda, Stati Uniti.
The Chinese are fading, but GB still leading a good length and a half ahead of Italy, with Tedoldi e Prati chasing down the Brits. Have they left it too late, Richie, or is there still a chance for them to win the B final here?
Anything can happen in these last 500 with the sprints that are coming from these smaller boats. We've seen crews gone from 5th place into 1st and 2nd. So all to play for here, with not much separating out the leaders now. GB moving into the lead in the last few strokes ahead of the crews then from Italy. They're the 1 and 2 at the moment. Very little between the chasing pack.
Insiste l'azione della Gran Bretagna lì davanti in questa finale B del doppio maschile, ma molto buona la performance dei nostri azzurri Leonardo Tedoldi e Marco Prati, che ai 1500 metri riescono a superare la Cina, a prendere la seconda posizione, lasciare dietro l'Olanda che aveva tentato di agganciare i nostri azzurri. Adesso azzurri che vanno all'attacco anche della Gran Bretagna per la prima posizione, ma gli inglesi continuano a rimanere lì davanti.
So time to perfection in the last 500. James Garr in the bow seat and Tobias Schroeder in the stroke seat for Great Britain. They're coming to the line just in the last 500. They were poised in 2nd place to come up and to take the win there, just ahead of the blanket finish between 3 crews. Just waiting for the official results to come up there. It is the final B of the men's double sculler. Good win there for Garr and Schroeder of Great Britain. The Italian double getting 2nd place ahead of the Netherlands. They are the 1, 2 and 3. The second Dutch crew, so it's Roykin and Florin taking 3rd for the Netherlands, ahead of Van Doorn and Kleiser, their country mates. And then in 5th place, People's Republic of China, our early leaders into the last 500, pushed back into 5th place ahead of the crew from the United States of America. We weren't kidding when we said they're going to come down fast and furious, and that's exactly where we're going to check back on the course now for final B of the men's fours. Going up to the 500-metre mark, it was the Italian crew leading out ahead of Germany. People's Republic of China in 3rd place ahead of the second Italian crew, Czechia and Japan. And again, just 3 seconds separating all of the crews as they came through 500. They're already up on the 1,000-metre mark. So we're going to check in with Tim to see if the Italians are still leading it out.
Oh, difficult to say, Richie. The Italians are, I think, dead level with the Germans who are racing to their right. It's great to see them going absolutely all out here to get their barbell across 1,000-metre first and increase that lead. But the Germans look very fluid to me. Really nice rhythm, nice sharp catches from the Germans, and a nice bit of efficiency from them. The Italians slightly higher in the rate, but they get their barbell across 1,000-metre just ahead of the Germans. I think there was less than a foot separating Italy 1 and Germany for the honours at 1,000. Czechia going with them, and right beside that crew from Czechia we see the People's Republic of China also doing quite well, just a canvas adrift from the leading 2 crews. Then there's another Italian crew in lane number 5. They're about a length down, and the crew from Japan not really featuring in the first half of this race. I hope they can claw back some of the deficit, but they have a lot of work to do here. Germany now pushing on. I think the Germans now slightly in the lead ahead of Italy 1, but there's not much separating these 2 crews at all.
Ed è l'acqua 3 con l'equipaggio italiano 1, con i 3 fratelli vicino e Pietra Crapina come centrobarca ad aiutare questa barca a mantenere la posizione. È un confronto serratissimo. Italia è passato prima ai 1000, subito seguito dalla Germania. Adesso è un testa a testa, avvicinandoci agli ultimi 600 metri di gara. L'Italia ha un numero di colpi più alto, ma non siamo sorpresi. La Germania, con 3 colpi in meno, sta facendo attualmente da battistrada. In terza posizione troviamo per adesso la Cina con Li Ma Guo, molto veloci anche loro, si stanno preparando per l'ultimo attacco finale, seguito poi dalla Repubblica Ceca e dell'equipaggio Italia 2 con, ricordiamo, ragazzi giovanissimi che si stanno difendendo molto bene. Sono a 41 colpi a 400 metri dalla fine della gara ed è entusiasmante vedere come combattono e vogliono dare il meglio di loro.
Amazing push there from Czechia. They're almost level with the Germans now. The three brothers in that Italian four really pushing on. Rates at 40 strokes a minute from Italy 1. They're a canvas down on Germany and Czechia for the honours in the B final. I think Czechia on the march here, Richie. Coming from behind, now leading the field ahead of Germany and Italy 1.
A really solid couple of 100 metres from Czechia. They've gone from 5th position off the first 500 now into 2nd and poised to challenge the German crew in the run in towards the finish to take the win in the B final here. Matching each other on both speed at the moment and on stroke rate between the Germans and the Czechia crew. Very little between them. It's going to come down to on the surge and who has the better sprint finish. Staying in touch at the moment in third is the crew from Italy, the local crew. So all the local support will be cheering the guys home and getting them back into the mix.
Finale infuocato anche per questa finale B del 4 senza maschile che vede Germania e Repubblica Ceca testa a testa per la prima posizione con l'equipaggio azzurro dei fratelli Vicino e Leonardo Pietracapina che ha cercato di inserirsi fin dalle prime battute ma è braccato anche dalla Cina, quindi bisogna stringere i denti sul traguardo. Repubblica Ceca che cerca di mettere la prua davanti alla Germania che non ci sta.
44 strokes per minute for both Czechia and Germany as they cross the line in the B final of the men's 4 photo finish. We'll have to see who it was that got it on the surge. Both crews, it's a German crew. Germany taking the win in the B final just on the surge. 0.11 of a second ahead of Czechia. They're the 1 and 2. The Italian crew back in third, Italy 1. Taking third position overall in Final B, ahead of the People's Republic of China in 4th place, and the second Italian crew in 5th. And it was Japan closing things out in 6th place. That's the B final of the men's 4. Really exciting photo finish there from both Germany and Czechia, and Germany just getting the better and taking the win. Straight back to the action yet again for another B final. This time it's the B final of the women's singles sculls. A lot of talent in here, and especially with the People's Republic of China and USA just missing out on the semi-finals, advancing from the semi-finals into the A final. Very little between those two crews. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out here. Already through the 1,000-meter mark, and it's Beatriz Cardoso of Brazil leading it out ahead of Italy, Japan in third as they approach the 1,000 meters. Bit of a surprise here to see Cardoso leading it out so early, Tim, but in close position there. Sauer of Italy very much in striking distance, as is Japan.
Yeah, it's a bit of a surprise to see these three athletes featuring at the front of the race. They, of course, were disappointed to miss out on the A final, but yeah, perhaps a little change in tactics here. Front-loading the race, trying to get your nose ahead, and well, hoping you can get away with it. We would have expected the Brazilian athlete Beatriz Cardoso, to be featuring at the front, and she has a really gritty style of racing I truly adore. She was across the 500-meter mark first, and she looks to me like she's still increasing that lead, really relishing in these tailwind conditions here. To her left, we see the sculler from the United States of America, Margaret Fallows, who is, well, for her, this is her proper start of the LA 2028 campaign, and she was the quickest sculler in the US in the 2025 winter speed order. That's a speed trial for all the athletes, and she's making the most of it. She comes across 1,000 meters second, just a bit of clear water down on the Brazilian athletes, and on the far side, Shiho Yonekawa from Japan third at the moment. That's the 1, 2, 3. Then there's precious little separating the two athletes from Italy and China, and Olivia Nacht from Switzerland currently sixth across 1,000. So that's the order at halfway. We'll see if anything happens. I think the sculler from the USA will raise the rate slightly and try to get back next to Cardoso from Brazil. But yeah, at the moment though, the Brazilian athlete is looking very much in control.
ed è l'olimpionica Beatriz Cardoso dal Brasile a padroneggiare questa finale B. È passata prima ai 500, prima ai 1000 e sicuramente vorrà continuare a mantenere stabile la posizione che ha preso, con 36, stabile a 36 colpi al minuto, sta facendo la sua gara e sicuramente riesce a tenere d'occhio tutte le sue avversarie, soprattutto anche l'americana che con lo stesso numero di colpi e la stessa velocità è attualmente in seconda posizione, seguita poi dalla giapponese Yonekawa. E per adesso al quarto e al quinto posto troviamo combattere la Cina con Yan Li e l'Italia con Sophie Sauer, a chiudere invece l'atleta svizzera che è un ex peso leggero e si trova a combattere contro la categoria senior, quindi è sempre un evento importante, una sfida importante. Ci approcciamo adesso agli ultimi 500 metri di gara dove l'atleta brasiliana ha guadagnato molta acqua, quindi sicuramente vorrà mantenere fino alla fine la posizione che dal primo colpo della partenza ha guadagnato. Al secondo posto troviamo ancora la statunitense Margaret Fellows, mantenendo colpi stabili. Le avversarie a dietro mantengono un numero di colpi più bassi, quindi magari indica una tecnica differente, però ora ci approcciamo agli ultimi 400 metri di gara e vediamo se le posizioni rimarranno le stesse oppure succederà qualcosa.
So Cardoso from Brazil, who of course raced in the Olympics in Paris in this event, placing herself 15th overall, is dominating this race, Richie. Not much changing in that third 500. Only Yan Li and Sophie Sauer changing position, with Sophie Sauer now 5th and the Chinese Sculler moving into 4th. But the top three well established there, and I think Brazil going to take the win here.
Really consistent and powerful rowing from Beatriz Cardoso off of the start to maintain her lead the whole way down, opening up clear water, which is exactly what you want to do in these sculling races, not give any of the crews an overlap and an opportunity to get that sprint finish in. Margaret Fellows moving from 4th into 2nd, doing really well, tried to get back into touch with Cardoso, but looking solid for the 2nd position at the moment, ahead of the Japanese sculler. They're the 1, 2 and 3, with China, Italy and Switzerland battling it out for 4th, 5th and 6th.
Nulla da fare per le avversarie. Beatriz Cardoso del Brasile ha deciso di monopolizzare questa finale B del singolo femminile. Adesso invece c'è la Cina che va a caccia della seconda posizione, ha agganciato il Giappone, sta cercando di mettere in difficoltà l'atleta americana per la seconda posizione, ma davanti rispondono, cercano di continuare ad accelerare. Continua l'azione di Beatriz Cardoso per la prima posizione e taglia ora il traguardo.
So the win for Cardoso for Brazil, just taking Clearwater lead ahead of Margaret Fellows, taking 2nd, just holding off a half a length of the challenge that came from Japan in 3rd place, and a really strong finish from Li Yan of China coming in 4th. Clearwater then back to the Italian sculler Sauer and Olivia Knock to close out the B final. A great win there for Brazil ahead of USA in 2nd and Japan in 3rd. And we are moving on to our last B final of this morning, and today's session, it is the B final of the men's single sculls between Belgium, Great Britain, New Zealand, Austria, Estonia and Uruguay, and already up on the 1,000 metres, we're going to head straight to Tim.
Yeah, and it's been an amazing B final so far, Richie. I'll just give you a quick summary of that first half of this race. Logan Ulrich, the Olympic silver medalist in the men's 4, shot out of the blocks really rapid to the first timing mark. But then it was Gaston Mercier from Belgium going all out. He was 3rd at 500, but he crossed 1,000 in the lead, and he's still leading by a couple of feet ahead of Aidan Thompson from Great Britain at the moment, who is, I think, in 2nd position overall. The New Zealander, the Kiwi, in one of the centre lanes, yeah, he had a bit of a change. He wasn't really feeling comfortable, I think, in this single. Of course, he rode at Washington this year, winning the IRA National Championships, jumped in the single, and he was looking great in the heats, but then in the quarterfinals and the semi-finals, there was a bit of a wobble, and he's racing here in the B final. He's still well within contact, but the top three, they're well established, and Lindorfer from Austria also doing quite well. The only two athletes, or the only athlete at the moment trailing a bit, is Kustein from Estonia, and Cetraro Berrilio from Uruguay also still in the mix with a little over 500 meters to go.
Un'altra elettrizzante finale B dove ai 1000 metri sono passati ben 5 singolisti, una battaglia fino alla fine anche qui. È partito il neozelandese Logan Hurrick come il più veloce, si è staccato più velocemente dai blocchi di partenza, però è l'atleta belgo Gaston Mercier a condurre questa finale B al primo posto. Infatti ai 1500 è passato, attenzione, c'è stato un cambio perché è Thompson dalla Gran Bretagna che è passato prima ai 1500 con un distacco di 2 secondi da Mercier, seguito dall'Austria con Lindorfer che sta combattendo per superare il belga, a seguire poi l'Uruguay, la Nuova Zelanda e l'Estonia, ma ora ci stiamo avvicinando sempre di più alle boe rosse con la Gran Bretagna che aumenta il numero di colpi e vuole mantenere stabile la posizione, ma attenzione perché c'è la Nuova Zelanda e l'Austria che stanno combattendo, quindi può cambiare tutto fino alla fine.
Great push from Aidan Thompson from Great Britain, leading the field, putting more distance in the rest of the athletes every single stroke. Richie, I think he's set to take the win here, but who's going to get second, third, fourth, fifth and sixth? That's the question.
Impressive here for Great Britain. We've seen a similar style from him where he's in the mix in the top three coming through 1,000 metres and just in the last 500 advancing on. He's pushing on here ahead of Gaston Mercier in second. Lindorfer, they're starting to wind up for the line now, but with clear water between them, it's looking good for Great Britain. Can he hold off the challenge that's coming from Belgium and Austria?
E ancora l'inglese Thompson lì davanti a fare l'andatura, ma grande attacco da parte della Nuova Zelanda che adesso cerca il sorpasso veramente negli ultimi metri. Grande accelerazione da parte dell'atleta neozelandese che lascia dietro l'Inghilterra.
Just in the last 100 metres, we've seen a massive push coming from the New Zealand sculler to advance into the lead and to take the win. That was unbelievable rowing in the last 200 metres. Logan Ulrich was leading off 500, fell back into fourth and fifth. Now already through the 1,000 metres, he was in fifth position, but just winding up for the line, managing to take the win ahead of Aidan Thompson. They're the 1 and 2, Uruguay in third, and it looked like it was Estonia coming in fourth ahead of the Belgian and Austrian crew. Lindorfer of Austria just taking fifth ahead of Gaston Mercier of Belgium. What an unbelievable finish. We're going to head straight down. Luca, unbelievable finish there from Logan Ulrich of New Zealand, moving from fifth into first. How's the heart rate after that race?
Well, we here on the grandstand, of course, and we can't wait to start watching all the A finals together. Now we are live here on the grandstand. Here we are on the screen. So please stand up if you can. Please stand up if you can. Stand if you can. Stand if you can. Music in 3, 2, 1. Let's get it right. You know the song, eh? I love it. That's the way to start the A finals of the day.
The A final of the PR1 Women's Singles Sculls.
Finale A per il singolo femminile PR1. All'acqua 1 Olanda, all'acqua 2 Giappone.
In lane 1 for the Netherlands, Eva Maul. In lane 2 for Japan, Tomio Ichiawa.
In acqua 1 Eva Maul, Olanda. In acqua 2 Tomomi Ichikawa, Giappone.
Japan. Attention.
And we are underway with our first final of day 3 here at World Cup Varese, starting with the PR1 women's singles sculls. Two-boat race here between the Netherlands in lane 1 and Japan in lane 2. These crews already raced in the preliminary race where we did see Eva Maul of the Netherlands winning by quite a distance, and that's exactly what we're seeing coming off the start here. Eva Maul, 36 strokes per minute, settling into a race pace, but already opening up a bit of clear water ahead of Tomio Ichiawa of Japan in second, and big distance. There's just gold on offer here between the two scullers in the PR1 women's singles sculls, and you can see clear water there, side by side images of the two competitors. Eva Maul settling into her race pace now, or you can see just the difference there between the boat speed between the two scullers of Netherlands and Japan. Fantastic rowing from Eva Maul, second in the Europeans recently, and no stranger as well to international competition for Ichiawa of Japan, who placed 5th at the 2023 World Championships. But it looks like in full control in the first few 100 metres, already dominating this race. It's Eva Maul of the Netherlands.
Siamo in gara con la finale del singolo femminile PR1, due le atlete in gara, le abbiamo già viste nelle preliminary race, Olanda e Giappone, con Eva Maul, atleta olandese che è partita subito molto decisa e sin dall'inizio ha cercato di mettere un bel vantaggio tra la sua poppa e la prua dell'avversaria. Ottima l'azione dell'atleta olandese che ad ogni palata lascia scorrere la sua barca e cerca di guadagnare terreno sulla diretta avversaria. Molto efficace quindi l'azione dell'atleta olandese, insiste il Giappone, ma la differenza è notevole e continua a insistere l'Olanda per incrementare il proprio vantaggio.
So fantastic footage. You can see just how clear it is. The weather clearing up on our final day here in Varese. Beautiful view all the way up to the start with the magnificent Lake Varese showing us the perfect rowing conditions that are here. There's a very slight tailwind pushing these crews down. It's a lot lighter than it was yesterday and a lot more overcast, so not as sunny. It's ideal rowing conditions for the crews. And as they approach the 500 metre mark, it's still Eva Maul really dominating the race here. You can see why she was second in the Europeans. Just looking at the times as well, the fastest time or the world's best time in this event in the PR1 women's single sculls set by Birgit Skarstein of Norway here in Varese in 2023. That's the world's best time in this event, so it'll be interesting to see if Eva Maul can come anyway close to that. Coming through 500 in 2:33.41. Impressive stuff here, Tim, from the Dutch sculler.
Really impressive stuff, and for an athlete that started rowing just a few years ago, it's amazing to see how much she made this single her own. She was proficient at a completely different sport. She was a paraclimber back in the day, and she then decided in 2023 that she would like to give rowing a go. She stepped in the boat and instantly found a good bit of speed, but unfortunately she missed out on qualification for the Paris Paralympic Games. Having taken that in her stride, she's really motivated to get qualification for the LA 2028 Games and compete there and at the highest level. She dominated the preliminary race, and we are seeing a similar picture here, and you can see why. She's really efficient at the front end of the stroke. That boat is so perfectly level in every bit of the rowing stroke. She's really pushing that boat along really nicely, squaring the blades early, making sure those catches are as clean as possible. Giving chase, Tomomi Ichikawa from Japan. I'm so glad to see her back racing again. We saw her racing up in the run-up to the Tokyo Games, where she qualified, but unfortunately there was no medal on home water for her, and then she took a bit of a hiatus, a bit of a sabbatical for a few years, tried to qualify for Paris, but unfortunately missed out on it. But great to see her racing here again, and she's doing quite well, but she is trailing because Eva Moll is really motoring along very quickly in this second 500. Silver medal in Plovdiv, Richie, you already mentioned it, but there is only one colour on the mind of Eva Moll at the moment, and that is a gold medal for the win here. But she still has a long way to go. We're approaching 1,000 meters, but she's looking ever so consistent, still at 29 strokes a minute, using absolutely every single bit of length, putting those blades in very effectively and pushing her boat across past the pins as she approaches 1,000 meters gone now. We'll keep a close eye on that time, Richie. I don't think these are world best time conditions, but there is a nice bit of tailwind here on Lago di Varese, but I think 5:19 is just outside that, so we'll see how the racing progresses. Eva Moll across 1,000, Ichikawa from Japan a few strokes before that halfway mark.
Ieri abbiamo potuto assistere alle finali della categoria del para-rowing PR2, PR3. Questa è un'altra importante categoria, che è quella del PR1. Forse rappresenta, direi, una delle sfide più impegnative del canottaggio paraolimpico, anche perché le atlete e gli atleti di questa categoria remano soltanto sfruttando la forza e la resistenza di braccia e spalle, senza tanto contributo del tronco. Infatti è stabilizzato da una cintura e la barca è stabilizzato da definiamolo una sorta di boe un po' più particolari, che comunque cercano di mettere in sicurezza il più possibile l'atleta senza andare ad intralciare la loro gara. È l'Olanda con Eva Moll, vice campionessa europea, che sta dominando questa finale con 29 colpi al minuto. Chissà se riesce a migliorare il tempo che ha fatto l'europeo, 10 minuti e 33. Nella preliminary race invece ha segnato 11 minuti e 13, però sappiamo bene che la preliminary race è sempre una gara da prendere un po' con le pinze, perché ognuno la interpreta a proprio modo, anche se Eva Moll ha avuto una medaglia d'argento all'europeo, il colore della medaglia che sta cercando di assicurarsi in questa finale è cambiato, perché infatti sta raggiungendo il 2000 metri per prendersi l'oro. Abbiamo poi l'avversaria, la giapponese Tomomi Ichikawa, olimpica a Tokyo, è arrivata quinta in finale B. Nella preliminary race è arrivata un po' più attardata rispetto all'Olanda, però sta facendo anche lei la sua gara, è ritornata nel campo internazionale, quindi sicuramente sarà felice di mettersi alla prova con questa Coppa del Mondo qui a Varese. Il lago continua ad avere una leggera brezza a favore, che sicuramente aiuta l'Olanda e il Giappone in questa finale ad esprimersi al meglio. Ci stiamo avvicinando all'ultimo quarto di gara, dove è ancora ovviamente l'Olanda si sta andando a prendere la sua medaglia d'oro, seguita dall'atleta giapponese Tomomi Ichikawa.
In this third 500, well, looking at these athletes, Richie, I'm so impressed by the work ethic of both Eva Moll and Tomomi Ichikawa from the Netherlands and Japan respectively, because they just keep on going and giving it their all. For Eva Moll, she knows she's in a very good place. She is winning and she's putting more distance into the Japanese athletes as they went through that penultimate timing mark. But she's not easing off. She could just enjoy the ride if she wanted to, but she really wants to show every single ounce of performance she is capable of. And she's keeping that rate up high, 28 strokes a minute, and she's nearly 3 meters per second. And that's been a constant factor all the way across that, into that second half of this race. For Ichikawa, she keeps on pushing, giving it her all, but I think she knows it's difficult to get back to Eva Moll at the moment, but she's still going for it. Absolute class of that Japanese scholar. So Eva Moll, she is almost a minute ahead at 1500. Amazing performance, and she comes into the last couple of 100 meters, Richie. So I'll hand back to you to call my fellow countrywoman across the line.
Really powerful display here from Eva Moll, and we're getting some amazing footage both side by side when the crews are on the water, as well as the drone footage as well. You can see just how efficient Eva Moll is, squaring over really early with her blade work to maximize the tailwind that's coming down, and she's working so hard here, even though she has that more than 200-meter distance, more than a minute between them. She's not easing off into the last half of this race here and into the last 500. So in full control here, Eva Moll, the European silver medalist, now looking to make it gold ahead of the Japanese sculler.
Non c'è quasi confronto tra le due atlete, ma sicuramente ottima l'azione di Eva Moll, l'atleta olandese che sta interpretando questa finale, che di fatto ha monopolizzato fin dall'inizio per cercare di sicuramente raccogliere e migliorare la propria performance. È stata seconda agli europei a Plodvid 2 settimane fa, battuta dall'atleta ucraina, quindi sicuramente questo percorso le serve anche per perfezionare quella che è la sua performance, e diventa una tappa, un'occasione in più per migliorare, e quindi il confronto, anche se il confronto è impari in questo momento con l'atleta giapponese, che sicuramente lì nella sua corsia sta cercando di fare il proprio meglio, ma vediamo adesso l'Olanda a tagliare il traguardo. Avrà sicuramente utilizzato questa giornata, questa esperienza per raccogliere ulteriori informazioni, ulteriori feedback e andare a migliorarsi in vista della stagione.
Relief for Eva Moll. She upgrades her silver medal from the Europeans for a gold here, armed aloft there to celebrate her win. A really powerful display there in a time of 11 minutes. .00. A really good row for Eva, in full control off of the start and powered down to the finish there to close out our first final and our first medal of day 3 here at World Cup Varese in the PR1 women's singles sculls. Tomio Ichikawa still coming into the red markers now, so she is in the wind-up towards the finish. She's taken the rate up to about 30 strokes per minute and looking good, and again she'll be looking for the best time she can here.
Ottime queste riprese che dimostrano fin dall'inizio, veramente sembra quasi di essere in barca con l'atleta, veramente l'impegno e lo sforzo che stanno approfondendo anche la vogatrice giapponese, in questo caso comunque concentratissima su quella che è la sua azione, come è giusto che sia, continua a insistere fin sul traguardo, veramente una applicazione incredibile e molto belle queste immagini.
Again, fantastic blade work and technique here from Tomio Ichikawa in the PR1 women's singles sculls. She's down to the last few strokes. Plenty of encouragement here in the grandstand as she winds up towards the line and closing out the PR1 women's singles sculls. It is going to be Japan taking second place, but the win there going to Eva Moll of the Netherlands. the final of the PR1 men's single sculls.
Finale A del singolo maschile PR1.
In lane 1 for Italy, Massimo Spollon. In lane 2 for Austria, David Holzweber. In lane 3 for Australia, Eric Horry. In lane 4 for Mexico, Michael Munoz Malagon. In lane 5 for Italy, Giacomo Perini. And lane 6 for the United States of America, Andrew Mangan.
USA. Attention.
And we are away with our next final. It is the final of the PR1 men's single sculls. These crews having raced between heats and finals, so already a good bit of racing under the belts. And fastest out of those heats, it was Eric Horry, the Australian or Paralympic bronze medalist. And he's leading coming out of the blocks again here. Always a fast starter, 45 strokes per minute, and opening up a little bit of a lead already ahead of Giacomo Perini of Italy in second. They're the 1 and 2. A little bit further back then to the Mexican sculler at the moment is in third place, who in turn has a slight lead over Austria, the second Italian sculler of Massimo Spollon and the Austrian sculler or David Holzweber. You can see the contrasting stroke rates there, some of them up into the 40s for Italy, Austria and Australia and Mexico. The Italian sculler Giacomo Perini and Mangan of USA settling into 36, 37 strokes per minute. Beautiful overhead drone shots here, just showing in the first few hundred meters how they've already spread out in between the start and the 300 meter mark. So still leading, it is the sculler from the 500 meter mark. It is going to be Eric Horry leading it out, coming up towards the 500 meter mark, ahead of the sculler from Italy, Giacomo Perini. A very familiar sight for these two. Between them, we've seen them race so many times over the last number of seasons, and always in the mix for the medals here between the Australian sculler and Giacomo Perini, also of Italy. So coming up to the 500 meter mark, it is Eric Horry still pushing on here, opening up more of a clear water lead. He's going to dominate this race from the start. That's his tactic here, and the question is who can keep the pressure on and keep in touch with him. At the moment, the nearest to him is going to be Giacomo Perini in second place as they approach the 500. Very familiar sight, Tim. Eric Horry leading it out.
Yeah, we would expect Eric to do well here. I mean, he has 11 medals at World Championships and Olympics, so he's one of the, well, he's also quite a seasoned campaigner. I think he's the oldest competitor racing in this final here today. And coming off the heats, he said he was happy with his performance, but he also has his eyes on the prize, because it's great to win a World Cup, but the real race this year that counts is the one in Shanghai at the World Championships. But so far so good for the Australian. He's still looking solid out in front, and he's opening up a bigger gap every single stroke to Giacomo Perini from Italy, currently in silver medal position. Then sandwiched in between them, Michael Munoz Malagon from Mexico, again an athlete we've seen competing at the highest level quite a few times here, currently bronze medal position. And then, well, it's difficult to split. I'd say the Andrew Mangan from the USA, fourth at the moment, and the athletes from Austria and Italy, Spollon and Holzweber, looking very evenly matched in the second 500 of this race. Back to the front, it is still Eric Horry looking so comfortable, slightly coming down the rates now, 36 strokes a minute, compared to that really rapid start with a high rate of striking. He really comes into his stride and makes sure he keeps that boat moving very efficiently. And looking at the speed, the graphic speed at the moment, I think he's the quickest boat out on the water. So he keeps on putting a bit more margin into his competitors at the moment. Looking out the window, quick peer out the window, and there he is. And he is looking so stable. I mean, the quality of those catches is something to behold, and he's looking so smooth. Quick pickup at the front end of the stroke and really effectively using every bit of length to lever that boat forwards. And the margin is increasing every single stroke. So impressive to see. It's more than 30 meters now coming past halfway. So, well, we could, but we won't call it the results just now. But I don't see Eric Horry, with all the experience he has, that he's going to make a mistake and not get the gold medal here. So he looks solid out in front. Perini following, looking good as well in silver medal position. And Munoz Malagon from Mexico also looking to be rowing well within himself here at 1,000.
Ed è la leggenda australiana Eric Horry che sta comandando questa finale A del singolo maschile PR1. Non siamo molto sorpresi, in realtà ce lo aspettavamo infatti, anche perché conta complessivamente a livello mondiale ed olimpico e ben 11 medaglie, quindi un atleta con decisamente tanta esperienza, ce la sta mostrando infatti con questa gara comandata fin dalla prima palata. Infatti è passato prima ai 500, primo ai 1000 ed ha una palata molto interessante perché è molto rapida. Visto adesso passato dalla torretta dei 1000 metri, la definirei un po' più corta rispetto al nostro italiano Giacomo Perini, che attualmente si trova in seconda posizione, però è comunque efficace perché ricordiamo 11 medaglie da quando ha fatto il suo debutto internazionale, quindi grandioso. In seconda posizione, quindi per l'argento, c'è il nostro italiano Giacomo Perini, anche lui atleta paraolimpico, ha iniziato a gareggiare nel 2022 e da allora ha avuto sempre molto successo, regalando tante soddisfazioni al popolo remiero italiano. Giacomo ha registrato il secondo miglior tempo in batteria e attualmente si sta riconfermando, anche perché ora le posizioni sono ben distribuite, quindi ricordiamo abbiamo in prima posizione Eric Horry dall'Australia, seconda posizione attualmente Giacomo Perini, Italia, seguito poi invece dall'atleta messicano Munoz Malagon, e poi abbiamo Stati Uniti, l'altro italiano Massimo Spolon, e l'Austria con David Holzberg a chiudere questa finale. Ci stiamo approcciando all'ultimo quarto di gara, quello che è decisamente più interessante. Vediamo con sempre la leggenda australiana che vuole mantenere questa sua medaglia d'oro. Sicuramente bello vincere una Coppa del Mondo, ma sicuramente penso che sia un ottimo primo passo per la gara importante di quest'anno, che è il mondiale a Shanghai, dove vedremo quale risultato regalerà al mondo del canottaggio.
So Eric Horry saving the best for last. From the heats, he was 6 and a bit seconds quicker than Perini from Italy, but he's opened up a massive gap, 15 seconds now, separating the gold and the silver at the moment. Still Munoz Malagon from Mexico clinging on to a bronze medal position. And for a moment there, I thought Andrew Mangan from the USA was getting closer, but the Mexican, seeing the danger coming from the American, responding and pushing back off the American now, with Spolon and Holzfever from Italy and Switzerland clear water down. But what a race by Eric Horry there, Richie. A fantastic performance, outstanding performance here to be leading by such a huge margin.
Absolutely dominating this race from the very first stroke, and we've been watching the stats coming down here. His boat speed is just in a different league in the first 1,500 metres when he was coming down, allowing him to power on and open up such a margin of clear water. But Giacomo Perini in the last few hundred has really taken the rate up, and he's the fastest boat out on the water. I think that Eric Horry is looking secure so far. He opened up so much of a lead. It's a very tough ask to see if Perini can get back into the mix for the gold.
Posizioni consolidate in questa finale del singolo PR1 maschile, che vede il plurimedagliato Eric Horry, l'atleta australiano, lì davanti dopo i primi 500 metri, quando il nostro Giacomo Perini ha cercato di non farlo scappare. Poi l'australiano ha incrementato la propria velocità e sta andando a vincere adesso questa finale.
Just hearing the finish line beep there for our gold medalists in the PR1 men's single sculls. It is going to be Eric Horry waiting for the official result to come in. Really great row there from Eric, absolutely dominating, and a time of 8:53.11, which is really good. Not too much of a tailwind condition there, but a very powerful display. Giacomo Perini coming in second, taking the silver medal. A really solid last 500. I saw him take up the rate and become the fastest boat out on the water, but the work already done by Eric Horry in the first 1,500 metres allowed him to dominate and take that gold medal. Just coming in towards the finish of the other competitors now. It's looking good for this the bronze medal for Mexico. Miguel Munoz Magalon just coming in towards the finish, winding up for the line ahead of Andrew Mangan of the USA. And the second Italian sculler, Massimo Spollon, holding off the challenge of David Holzweber at the moment. So the 1, 2 and 3, Eric Horry from Australia, Giacomo Perini of Italy, and arms aloft there for Miguel Munoz Magalon, taking the bronze medal. Absolutely delighted with that. So the last few hundred metres now for our two competitors. The second Italian sculler, Massimo Spollon, just winding up to the line, well inside the red boys, indicating 200 to go. And David Holzweber of Austria just coming into the run-in towards the finish. Seeing on screen there the celebrations from Eric Horry and Miguel Munoz Magalon, the gold and bronze medalists. Absolutely delighted. They're pulling their boats up side by side to congratulate each other. We just watched Massimo Spollon of Italy coming in to take 5th position overall, followed by David Holzweber of Austria, going to close out this PR1 men's single scull final. Some fantastic footage there, getting ready for our first medal ceremonies of the day of the PR1 women's single sculls. But closing out the PR1 men's single, a lot of encouragement here for David Holzweber of Austria, is just coming to the finish to close out and take 6th position overall in the final of the PR1 men's single sculls. The victory ceremony for the PR1 women's single sculls. The medal will be presented by World Rowing Council member Victoria Aguilera Gomez Corta, accompanied by Council for Sport Stefano Malabera. Winner of the gold medal, representing the Netherlands, Eva Mol. Varese, give it up for your gold medalists, the Netherlands. Final A of the women's pair.
Finale del 2 senza femminile.
In lane 1 for Australia, Emmy Frederico and Paige Barr. In lane 2 for Czechia, Anna Satrikova and Plavina Flamikova. Lane 3, Italy, Laura Mariano and Alice Kodata. Lane 4 for the Netherlands, Johanna von Nika and Lynn van Aanholt. Lane 5 for Chile, it's Melita and Antonio Abraham. And lane 6 for Great Britain, Eleanor Brinkhoff and Megan Slabbert.
Great Britain. Attention.
And we are underway with our next final, the A final of the women's pairs. Australia, Czechia, Italy, Netherlands, Chile and Great Britain battling this one out. And the fastest time through the heats, it was the Italian pair of Laura Mariano and Alice Codato. So all eyes will be on them in the centre of the course in lane 3. Interestingly, in the first semi-final, it was the Netherlands and Chile that just were separated by 0.57 of a second, missing out on the overall win, but powering into the A final here between the two crews. So all action and all eyes will be on lanes 3, 4 and 5 for Italy, Netherlands and Chile. Coming off the start, it is the Italian crew leading it out, but very little between them and Czechia and the Netherlands. All three crews up in the high 40s still coming off the first few hundred meters.
È partita anche la finale del 2 senza femminile, tutti gli equipaggi sono scattati molto veloci alla luce verde, adesso però è la formazione azzurra, quella con Laura Meriano e Alice Codato, vice campionesse europee, a prendere subito la testa. Siamo consapevoli che partono sempre molto forte, lo sanno anche gli avversari, hanno cercato di non consentirglielo, ma adesso le nostre ragazze si stanno allungando, stanno cominciando a mettere fuori il loro scafo, l'imbarcazione azzurra comincia a farsi vedere davanti all'otto delle avversarie.
So a really impressive start from all the crews here, with just a couple of meters separating them coming in through the 500-meter mark. It is still leading it out. The Italian crew rowing really well here, taking control of the race and just starting to open up a little bit of clear water. Then back to second place, Czechia, and to the Netherlands as well. They're the 1, 2 and 3. Really impressive from the local crew here, Tim. They're taking the lead in the final of the women's pair.
Yeah, no surprise to see them leading at 500 meters gone, and clearly going out with the intent to well, make sure all the athletes competing against them know that that gold medal is theirs to take, and the Italians really moving out, clear intent. We spoke about them over the last few days. They are looking so smooth and well connected at the front end of the stroke, and they need to be, because it's a high rating crew, this Italian crew. They've opened up clear water now back to the Netherlands and Czechia, who are more or less level in that silver and bronze medal position at the moment, but really impressed by the speed the Italians are developing. Mariano and Codato really going out full gas in this first 1,000 meters, and that clear water margin is very well, it can be a very good ace to have in your deck, because we all know the other crews do have a sprint finish. I'm looking at Chile, the Abraham sisters, that well established, perhaps the longest standing combination in this pairs field, having won an under-23 gold medal in in this boat class all the way back in 2017, and still racing and competing here. Looking across the water now, Great Britain also coming back into this. Brinkhoff and Slubbert looking quite relaxed at this stage of the race. I think this is a crew that really accelerates into that second half of this race. But the lead the Italians have now built up is so impressive. It is a length and a half of clear water passing 1,000, and then it's Czechia, Santrukova and Flamenkova who are just ahead of the Netherlands in that silver medal position, but less than a full length separating all the crews for the minor placings. Italy well out in front, looking good so far.
Che spettacolo vedere Alice Codato e Laura Meriano combattere così, con questo fuoco, con questa frizzantezza, con 38 e alternando tra 38 e 39 colpi al minuto, stanno comandando questa finale A in maniera impressionante. Grandissime ragazze, hanno davvero comandato fin dal primo 500, staccando a 1,39, ben 3 secondi più veloce rispetto a tutte le altre barche. Uno può pensare che stanno bruciando tutto il loro carburante, ma so benissimo che queste ragazze possono mantenere un ritmo meraviglioso fino alla fine dei 2000 metri. Grandi ragazze, continuate così. Al secondo posto troviamo per adesso una bella battaglia tra l'Olanda e la Repubblica Ceca, che sono testa a testa e lo sono state fin dalla prima parte di gara. Si vede bene che è una finale A e nessuno vuole mollare un colpo. Troviamo poi non tanto distaccate la Gran Bretagna con Slubbert e Brinkhoff, che sono medaglia di bronzo nel due senza in questa specialità, ma campionesse europee nell'8. E poi abbiamo anche le sorelle cilene Abram che sono passate molto vicine anche alla Gran Bretagna. E adesso con 37 colpi al minuto stanno cercando di mantenere e guadagnare più acqua possibile. Seguita poi dall'Australia 1 che con 37 colpi al minuto è leggermente più attardato. E ora ci stiamo avvicinando al vivo di questa gara. Ci stiamo avvicinando agli ultimi 400 metri dove bisogna resistere assolutamente. Ma le nostre ragazze Alice e Laura stanno dominando con grandissima frizzantezza questa finale ed è bellissimo vederle gareggiare con così tanta grinta e cattiveria. Attualmente alla seconda posizione troviamo ancora l'Olanda, seguita poi dalla Repubblica Ceca e dalla Gran Bretagna, che stanno combattendo testa a testa.
Italy look good for the gold there, Richie, but 4 crews for the minor medals. Czechia, the Netherlands, Chile and Great Britain still in the mix.
Really dominant display here from Italy. Now I'm going to hand over to the man with the inside track. Rossano's going to bring these guys home.
Fantastico vedere la performance delle nostre azzurre, veramente incredibile come si sono messe lì davanti. Mi piace l'espressione che ha usato Team Full Gas, Laura Meriano e Alice Codato, sono acceleratore giù tutto, stanno cercando di fare il largo rispetto alle avversarie. Olanda e Repubblica Ceca cercano di mantenere la seconda e terza piazza, ma sono tallonate ancora dalla Gran Bretagna e dal Cile, che comunque rendono frizzante anche la gara per le retrovie, ma è la formazione azzurra che continua veramente imperterrita a rimanere lì davanti. Spettacolo questo finale di gara delle nostre due ragazze che stanno veramente regattando nel miglior modo possibile, uno spettacolo per tutto il pubblico assiepato sulle tribune qui del lago di Varese.
Absolutely unbelievable display here from the Italians. They're going to cross the line to take the gold medal. A rush on for silver and bronze here. The Dutch looking to get that silver medal, and it's going to be a photo finish as well. We wait for the official result, but it might have been the Czechia crew just getting the better of Great Britain there. We'll have for the official result to come in to see that. A really fantastic display there from the Italian crew. Laura Mariano in the bow seat, Alice Codata of Italy in the stroke seed. A really fantastic display, dominating the race here and continue to power home there. 42 strokes per minute when they cross the line in first place, ahead of, it looks like, the Dutch crew, moving from third place, and in the second half of the race, just coming up in second, waiting for the official result to come out. It is the Dutch crew of Nika Johanna Vos and Lynn van Aanholt taking the silver medal. You can see just how much it has taken out of these crews on screen there. The silver medalist, and it looks like Czechia getting in to take third place, just ahead of Great Britain in fourth, Chile in fifth place, and the Australian crew in sixth. So fantastic win there for Italy, ahead of the crew from the Netherlands in silver medal and the crew from Czechia in bronze. The victory ceremony for the PR1 men's single sculls. The medal will be presented by World Rowing Executive Director Vincent Gagliard, accompanied by Italian Rowing Federation Vice President Fabrizio Quaglino. Winner of the bronze medal, representing Mexico, Miquel Munoz Malagon. Winner of the silver medal, representing Italy, Giacomo Perini. Winner of the gold medal, representing Australia, Eric Corey. Varese, give it up for your bronze medalists, Mexico. Your silver medalists, Italy. And your gold medalists, Australia. Final A of the men's pair.
Finale del 2 senza maschile.
In lane 1 for Italy, Nunzio Di Colandrea and Giovanni Codata. In lane 2 for Croatia, Patrick Loncharge and Anton Loncharge. In lane 3 for Croatia, Martin Sinkovic and Valant Sinkovic. In lane 4 for New Zealand, Oliver Welch and Benjamin Taylor. In lane 5 for Switzerland, Johann Block and Patrick Brunner. And in lane 6 for the Netherlands, Olaf Molenaar and Jan van der Bie.
New Zealand. Switzerland, the Netherlands. Attention.
And we are underway in final A of the men's pairs off of the starts. And all eyes are going to be on the two Croatian crews in lane 2 and lane 3. They won in the medal in the Europeans, racing in a 4. Now splitting and racing in the pairs here. So it'll be interesting to see how they fare against each other, as well as the crews. The fastest crew out of the semi-finals, the New Zealand crew of Welch and Taylor in lane 4. Already off the start, it is the New Zealand crew just about opening up a slight lead ahead of Italy in second. And very little between all three crews, all still up in the high 40s. The Netherlands at 44 strokes per minute as they go off the start. So settling into their race pace, beautiful screen footage you can see here side by side. Very little between the crews leading it out, but it's now the Italian crew taking the lead.
Partita anche la finale del 2 senza maschile con due formazioni della Croazia, ma anche la formazione azzurra che parte molto bene, cerca di non far scappare la Nuova Zelanda lì in acqua 4, che tenta di far l'andatura sin da subito molto bene. I nostri azzurri, ancora tutti gli equipaggi molto ravvicinati, quando è passato poco più di un minuto dalla luce verde. Insiste l'azione degli azzurri, Nunzio Di Colandrea, Giovanni Codato cercano di mantenere il contatto lì vicino con la formazione all'acqua 4 della Nuova Zelanda, e in mezzo le due formazioni croate con i plurimedagliati olimpici, pluricampioni olimpici, i fratelli Sinkovic, che forti del loro oro a Parigi nella specialità cercano adesso di distribuirsi e allungarsi dopo le fasi di partenza.
Such a wealth of experience and medalists in this race of the final of the men's pairs, and it's the New Zealand crew coming through the 500-metre mark. We're just leading it out of Italy in second place, and the two Croatian crews poised in third and fourth, Switzerland fifth, Netherlands in sixth. But what a race, Tim, we're having prospect here. So many people potentially able and capable of taking that gold medal.
Yeah, it's a real quality field in this A final of the men's pair, and you're looking at the Olympic champions from Croatia, the Sinkovic brothers, looking unfazed at the moment. They were, I mean, the Kiwis were the quickest pair to qualify for this final, coming out of the semis, but that comes with a small caveat that the Sinkovic brothers, who won the other semi-final, weren't really pushed until the very, very end by the crew from Switzerland, and that's also a crew to watch. That crew reached the A final in Plovdiv at the Europeans and is now trying to get themselves on the podium. Fast start from Italy sees them currently, I think, in silver or bronze medal position. I think bronze at the moment. So it's New Zealand 1, about a length ahead of the Sinkovic brothers. That's Croatia 1 for your reference. And then it is the Italians in bronze medal position, racing all out right alongside the Lonkaric twins from Croatia in lane number 2. Then there's that bit of a gap. The Dutch, Jan van der Bij and Olaf Molenaar in the bow seat. Two silver medalists from the Paris Games in the 8, racing all out. Jan van der Bij is setting a furious rhythm there, 39 strokes a minute. The entire field crossed the 1,000-meter mark. There's a well spread out about 2 lengths, with the Kiwis now making a big move, trying to shake off the Sinkovic brothers, who are in that silver medal position, and the Lonkaric twins actually reeling back the Italian crew on the far side of the lake at the moment. So it's chopping and changing for the minor medals, but the Kiwis really making a move there for the gold.
Ed è l'equipaggio che si è staccato più velocemente dai blocchi di partenza che sta martellando per la prima posizione, ed è Nuova Zelanda con il prodiere Welch, che è campione del mondo Under 23 in questa specialità. Bellissimo vederlo adesso che sta aiutando il suo capovoga a prendersi la medaglia col colore che piace di più agli atleti. In seconda posizione per l'argento troviamo adesso i mostri del canottaggio mondiale, i fratelli Sinkovic, plurimedagliati europei, mondiali ed olimpici, attualmente campioni olimpici di questa specialità, con una remata diversa rispetto a quella dei neozelandesi. I Sinkovic hanno una remata un po' più potente, perché sicuramente hanno una forza incredibile che possono sprigionare palata per palata, mentre i neozelandesi stanno sfruttando un po' più di rapidità e velocità. Adesso i croati ancora in seconda posizione sono a 40 colpi al minuto, cercando sicuramente di attaccare la Nuova Zelanda. Nella posizione del bronzo adesso possiamo trovare i nostri italiani, Giovanni Codato e Nunzio Di Colandrea, vice campioni d'Europa, che vorranno fino alla fine mantenersi solida questa posizione che hanno preso. Successivamente abbiamo i fratelli Lonkaric, Croazia 2, Svizzera e Olanda 2 a chiudere questa finale.
New Zealand, Welsh and Taylor going for the clear water margin ahead of the Sinkovics in lane number 3. It's an amazing race by the Kiwis, but you can see the wind-up coming from the Sinkovic brothers. They're taking up 41 strokes a minute, still in silver medal position. The bronze at the moment, it's really close between Italy and Croatia too at the moment, Richie.
Unbelievable. We know what kind of a finish that the Sinkovic brothers are. We saw in the Olympic just how powerful they can be in the last 500. If I was racing against them, I'd wanted a 2-week lead. The crew from New Zealand, though, have done what they needed to do, getting out to the lead and getting clear water. Welch and Taylor really dominating the first part of the race. The question here is, can they hold off the sprint finish of the Sinkovic brothers?
Doppia battaglia in questa finale del due senza maschile, lì davanti i fratelli Sinkovic cercano di insidiare la prima posizione che è in questo momento di appannaggio della Nuova Zelanda, mentre gli azzurri cercano di difendersi dal rientro dei gemelli Lonkaric per la terza posizione. Veramente infuocato questo finale di gara.
Charging to the line, but New Zealand have rode a perfect race here from the start. 3/4 of a length they cross the line, arms aloft. A fantastic race there from Oliver Welch and Benjamin Taylor. They're the 1 and 2. Coach Mike Roger will be so happy with that performance. And the Sinkovic brothers in a silver medal position, just by half a length. It was the 1 and 2, and it was the Swiss crew on the charge into the finish, just pipping the second Croatian crew. The Lonkaric is back into 4th ahead of the Italian pair in 5th place, Netherlands back in 6th. An unbelievable race there from New Zealand, a well-deserved gold medal. And the Olympic champion Sinkovic is picking up the silver to add to their medal haul. And a really fantastic finish there from Johann Plock and Patrick Brunner of Switzerland, seeing them pick up the bronze medal. The victory ceremony for the women's pair. The medals will be presented by World Rowing President Jean-Christophe Roland, accompanied by Italian Rowing Federation Vice President Fabrizio Quaglione. Winners of the bronze medal, Czechia, represented by Anna Sankova and Pavlina Flamakova. Winners of the silver medal, the Netherlands, represented by Nika Johanna Vos and Lynn van Aanholt. Winners of the gold medal, Italy, Laura Mariano and Alice Codata. Good up. Varese, give it up for your bronze medalist, Czechia. Your silver medalist, the Netherlands. And your gold medalist, Italy. The final of the women's 4 in lane 1, Great Britain, stroked by Amelia Sandy. In lane 2, for the United States of America 2, stroked by Etta Carpenter. Lane 3, Australia, stroked by Jackie Swick. In lane 4, United States of America 1, stroked by Kate Knifton. Lane 5 for the Netherlands, stroked by Tinka Offerens. And in lane 6, New Zealand, stroked by Alana Sherman.
New Zealand. Attention.
We are underway in final A of the women's 4 between Great Britain, USA 2, Australia, USA 1, Netherlands and New Zealand. Interesting, the USA crews doubling up and racing in the 8s as well, and they were first and second in the second heat that they raced. And also really interesting part of this new progression system, we saw the other fastest crews all coming through that second heat as well, with Great Britain and New Zealand posting the fastest times and taking up those 2 last qualifying spots. Also in the mix from the other heat, it was the crews from the Netherlands and Australia. Fastest out of all the crews in the heats, it was the crew from USA 1. So all eyes are going to be on them as we watch them settle into the race pace. And our early leaders here, it's the Netherlands.
Ed è partito anche la finale del 4 senza femminile, con l'Olanda che subito parte forte, la capovolga Tinka Offerens cerca di lanciare il proprio equipaggio lì davanti per non lasciare spazio all'avversaria. Veramente ancora in questo momento una battaglia incredibile, 40 colpi al minuto, quasi tutti gli equipaggi, si cerca di dare la massima velocità in questa fase della gara per poi distendersi sul passo mantenendo alta la velocità dello scafo. Bisogna cercare di produrre veramente una performance incredibile, perché la competizione fra tutti gli equipaggi è veramente di alto livello, come è giusto che sia in una Coppa del Mondo.
So really impressive, and again similar to what we saw in the men's pairs race, any crew here is capable of taking that gold medal or be in the mix for the silver and the bronze as well. Really impressive for the Netherlands coming up to the first 500. Tim, another familiar sight seeing Netherlands lead it out. Question is, can they get into the medal mix here with such a talented feed chasing them back?
Yeah, there's so many crews here with a chance of winning a medal, and the Dutch, of course, really want to re-establish that dominance in this boat class, having won the Olympic title in Paris last year. This crew, a slightly different lineup from the one who raced at the Europeans, taking a win there. With in the bows, we have the new athletes with Van der Lely and Snijders, Vera Snijders in the 2-seat there, joining 2 Olympic champions in the stern of that crew. And that Dutch crew is doing quite well at the moment, leading in the first half of this race. I think the crew was surprised slightly by that very rapid crew from Australia racing in lane 1 in the heats, and the Dutch really well changed gear and are making sure they are at the front of the race come the 1,000-meter mark. Behind the Dutch, it is really close. The USA 1 crew in lane number 4 stroked by Knifton in that stroke seat, are really keeping the Dutch honest, just a canvas down on the leading Dutch. Then it is Australia, won that rapid crew with plenty of Olympic experience there, but coming across 1,000, the only crew really trailing at the moment, or well, I say trailing, it's just a length, is the Kiwis are, well, clear water down on the Dutch, and then it's a nice chevron formation with the USA and the crew from Great Britain on the far side, also length and a bit down. But the race is on, the Dutch are leading, but I think the Americans are now on the move, passing through 1,000, going for a slight change of gear, and really threatening to take the leading position from the Dutch, who are now having to respond. The Americans really powering through now, and their bow ball is basically level with the Dutch.
Una competizione incredibile in questa finale del 4 senza femminile. Abbiamo atlete con tantissima esperienza olimpica e a livello internazionale, quindi sarà una sfida incredibile fino all'ultima parata. Interessantissimo vedere cosa succederà quando suonerà il beep ai 2000 metri. Passati i 1000, avvicinandosi ai 1500, è ancora l'Olanda a comandare questa finale, ma attenzione perché è un testa a testa con gli Stati Uniti d'America, la squadra 1 con capovoga Knifton, e sta cercando di mantenere quel contatto per forse attaccare negli ultimi 200-100 metri e avere quell'attacco finale per andarsi a prendere l'oro. Per terza posizione, quindi attualmente per il bronzo troviamo il verde e l'oro, quindi l'Australia 1 con una finalista olimpica in 8, quindi sicuramente tanta esperienza anche in quella barca, ma subito dopo troviamo una combattente Nuova Zelanda, con anche la seconda squadra degli Stati Uniti e la Gran Bretagna a seguire. Sono comunque barche una vicino all'altra, quindi non si può sbagliare una palata, non si può sbagliare una remata, non si può perdere tempo perché ci stiamo avvicinando all'ultimo quarto di gara, sempre quello più vivido, dove può ribaltare tutte le posizioni che si sono create fino a quel momento. Attualmente è la squadra americana con capovoga Knifton a comandare questa finale, ma attenzione perché possiamo aspettarci un attacco da tutti gli altri equipaggi.
Surging bow ball from the American crew. They have taken gold medal position coming into the last 250 meters, Richie. The Dutch feeling the heat from the Australians, who are going for that silver medal. That's the top three, but a few crews sprinting now towards the line, with the Americans and the New Zealanders still not out of it.
So we're on to the big boats here in the women's four. Really impressive rowing in the last 500 from USA. They've moved into gold medal position now, coming under pressure from the Netherlands and Australia, and New Zealand still within striking distance, but looking good for USA for gold.
È partita molto forte l'Olanda, campione europea in carica, a bordo solo la capovoga però di quell'equipaggio, ma molto bene la progressione della formazione americana, che ha 3 finaliste olimpiche in 3 specialità diverse a bordo, che si è messa lì davanti. C'è anche l'Australia all'acqua 3 che sta cercando di sopravanzare la formazione olandese per la seconda piazza, in avanti comunque sempre gli Stati Uniti.
Huge sprint finishes from Australia and the Netherlands and New Zealand, but it is going to be the USA taking gold medal ahead of Australia, it looks like, and the Dutch in third. They're the 1, 2 and 3. Solid 500 from New Zealand as well, moving into fourth place. It looked like ahead of the crews then from Great Britain and the United States. We'll go to the official result. You can see the delight there of USA 1 in the bow seat, Camilla van der Meer. Asja Kajowski in the 2 seat, Teal Cohen in 3, and Kate Kifton in the stroke seat, taking the win there ahead of the Netherlands in the bronze medal position, and Australia in second. You can see just how much it's taken out of these athletes in these tough racing conditions, having gone through the heat in the final. Also, a lot of these crews doubling up as well, racing in the eights as well. So really fantastic win there for the USA, ahead of Australia 1 and Netherlands 3. They're the gold, silver and bronze. New Zealand in 4th, United States of America 2nd crew in 5th, and Great Britain in 6th. the victory ceremony for the men's pair. The medals will be presented by World Rowing Council member Henk-Jan Zwolle, accompanied by Varese Rowing Vice President Claudio Menazzi, winner of the bronze medal, Switzerland, represented by Johann Plock and Patrick Brunner. Winners of the silver medal, Croatia, represented by Martin Sinkovic and Valent Sinkovic. Winners of the gold medal, New Zealand, represented by Oliver Welch and Benjamin Taylor. Varese, give it up for your bronze medalists, Switzerland. Your silver medalist, Croatia. And your gold medalist, New Zealand. The final of the men's four. In lane one, New Zealand, stroked by Flynn Elliott S. Watson. In lane two, Netherlands 2, stroked by Rick Ranks. In lane 3, for Netherlands 1, stroke Mick Macker. In lane 4, Australia, stroke Alex Hill. Lane 5, Great Britain, stroke Joshua Bozeman-Jones. Lane 6, United States of America, stroke Jacob Hodgkins.
Australia, Great Britain, USA. Attention.
And we are underway in Final A of the men's four, having come through heat, semi-finals and finals. A lot of racing under the belt for the guys here. Some of them also racing in that mixed 8 race that we had yesterday. Off of the start, all of the crews 45s, 46 strokes per minute, and very little between centre of the course, Netherlands and Australia. Netherlands won in Australia in lanes 3 and 4, battling it out, and just a small, barely a canvas separating them back to third, fourth and fifth. The USA back in third, just, it looks like, ahead of the second crew from the Netherlands, Great Britain and New Zealand just back in 6th place. So they're still up in the high 40s for the rate, just about to settle into the race pace, but looking good so far for centre of the course. The Netherlands leading it out ahead of Australia.
Partenza velocissima per la finale del 4 senza maschile, con l'Olanda che all'acqua 3 cerca di mettere la sua prua davanti, formazione che agli europei fu quarta, quindi adesso in questa finale addirittura 2 formazioni orange, ma l'Australia in acqua 4 non ci sta e cerca di insistere nella propria azione per mantenere il contatto con la formazione olandese che tenta di scappare. A inseguire comunque anche Stati Uniti e Olanda 2 che rimangono lì molto attaccati, quindi 6 formazioni di fatto molto vicine in questa fase della gara che vede l'avvicinarsi della boa dei primi 500 metri con Olanda 1 ancora lì davanti.
The Australian crew, the fastest out of the semi-finals of Pender, Hamilton, Reinhardt and Hill, very experienced and no stranger to leading out a race here. But at the moment, coming through the 500-metre, Tim, it's the Dutch taking the lead ahead of Australia.
Yeah, gutsy start by the Dutch. I think they wanted to surprise the Australians by a quick start and perhaps showing them that it's not going to go their way just because they are the quality crew and perhaps the favourites to win the gold medal here. I do have to say the Dutch are looking strong. They've dropped the rate now slightly, settling into that mid-race pace. The crew struck by Mick Makker, backed up by Sander de Graaf, Pieter van Veen and Ralf Rinks, all experienced members of the Dutch squad, and the two Rinks brothers racing each other in different boats. So that's a bit of pride, I think, for Ralf to be leading his brother Rick, who is in the stroke seat of that Netherlands 2 crew to his left. The Aussies really moving now at 36 strokes a minute. They are powering through, and they've opened up a canvas lead ahead of the fast starting Netherlands 1 crew and the Netherlands 2 crew now also making a move. Those 3 crews starting to separate themselves slightly from the rest of the pack. GB, that new crew that showed such development from the Europeans, where the performance was slightly underwhelming for seasoned under-23 athletes. They have really found a bit of magic here because they are doing well. I think they're currently in 4th, just 3/4 of a length down on the Australians and the Netherlands. On the far side, the Kiwis also in there, and the USA not far behind. But the race is on between Australia, the Netherlands 1 and Netherlands 2, currently your gold, silver and bronze.
Finale tiratissima questa del 4 senza maschile, dove dobbiamo fare attenzione alle corsie centrali, la 4 e la 3, ma anche la 2, dove abbiamo l'Australia adesso che è passata prima ai 1000 metri con subito dopo l'Olanda, la squadra 1, ma attenzione perché c'è anche l'Olanda 2 subito dopo, che con 39 colpi al minuto stava facendo un test a test, ed è una sfida tra queste 3 barche, seguita poi dalla barca americana, che sono a poco meno di un secondo dai loro avversari, a chiudere poi anche la Gran Bretagna, che si sta difendendo molto bene. E ora ci stiamo avvicinando agli ultimi 600 metri, dove l'Australia con 38 colpi al minuto sta cercando di resistere all'attacco dell'Olanda 1, che però sta aumentando la velocità con 40 colpi al minuto. E ora vediamo nell'ultimo quarto di gara che cosa succederà.
It's really close at the front of the field. As you just heard, it is still Australia leading ahead of 2 crews from the Netherlands. But keep an eye out on that very rapid crew from Great Britain, Richie.
I think we're going to see a sprint finish in the mix for the medals here. No doubt about the leaders there. Australia holding off at the moment just by a canvas ahead of the first Netherlands crew. The second Netherlands crew and Great Britain in a tussle there at the moment for that bronze medal. USA and New Zealand a little bit further off the pace, and if they want to get into the medal mix, they're going to have to go, and they're going to have to go now.
Gara vincente questa del 4 senza maschile, con l'Australia ancora lì davanti, ma l'Olanda 1 sta cercando di ricucire lo strappo tentato dagli australiani stessi. È veramente meno di una prua di vantaggio quella della formazione all'acqua 4, con l'Olanda che cerca di agganciarsi, ma tutti gli altri equipaggi sono molto vicini. Finale incandescente, l'Australia che tenta di difendere la prima posizione, l'Olanda 1 che cerca di rintuzzare ancora con un attacco veramente feroce nella parte finale, poi Olanda 2 che combatte per mantenere Gran Bretagna e Stati Uniti indietro per la terza posizione.
They're winding for the line here. Huge encouragement, but it looks like the Australian crew have just got enough left in the tank, opening up about a half a length lead coming in ahead of the Netherlands. It's going to be silver and bronze for the Netherlands. It is a win for the Australians, ahead of the Dutch in second place, the second Dutch crew. So they clean up there with silver and bronze. The winner of the men's 4, Australia, in a time of 5:47. Really impressive row for them. coming to the lead through the 1,000 metres and holding on the challenges that came. The second place goes to the Netherlands 1 crew. And the bronze medal going to the second Netherlands crew. So it's a 2 and 3, silver and bronze for the Netherlands. Great Britain in 4th place ahead of the United States and New Zealand. A really powerful display there from the Australian crew, and a lot of pressure that they came under from the 2 Dutch crews, but holding on for the gold medal, and then the Dutch crew securing silver and bronze. The victory ceremony for the women's 4. The medals will be presented by World Rowing Council member Axel Muller, accompanied by Mayor of Varese Davide Galimberti. Winners of the bronze medal, the Netherlands, represented by Lisanne van der Gee, Vera Schneiders, Hermiente Drent, and Tinka Offerens. Winners of the silver medal, Australia, represented by Jamie Ford, Elisa Gaffney, Georgie Rao, and Jackie Swick. Winners of the gold medal, United States of America, represented by Camille Vandermeer, Asja Kachowski, Teal Cohen, and Kate Knifton. Varese, give it up for your bronze medalists, the Netherlands. Your silver medalists, Australia. And your gold medalists, USA. The final of the women's doubles sculls. Lane 1 for Switzerland, Salome Ulrich and Fabian Schweitzer. Lane 2 for the United States of America, Catherine Flynn and Grace Joyce. In lane 3 for the People's Republic of China, Shen Juxie and Zhang Ling. In lane 4 for the Netherlands, Roos de Jong and Bethne Boonstra. Lane 5, Great Britain, Freya Kato and Varara Oboako. Lane 6, New Zealand, Catherine Glenn and Stella Clayton-Green. We are underway in Final A of the women's doubles sculls. Some tough competition getting into this final coming through the heats. The direct qualifiers were the crews from USA, China, Netherlands and Great Britain, and the two fastest times through the new progression system, the outside lanes of Switzerland and New Zealand as well. So off the start, very high rates again from the People's Republic of China, up at 44 strokes per minute, being matched there by Great Britain, also up in the 45 strokes as they get off of their start. Into the lead, it's the Chinese crew at the moment, holding off at the pace of the Netherlands right beside them. They're the 1 and 2. New Zealand very much in the mix in the first few strokes as well as they settle into their race pace. Up on screen you can see the stroke rate. Still some of the crews in the high 40s or the early 40s just coming in, and high 39s as well. They settle down into their race pace now, but the early leaders, China leading it out at the moment ahead of the crew from the Netherlands.
Incredibile la partenza della formazione cinese, entrambe sul 4 di coppia, sesto lo scorso anno ai Giochi Olimpici, che ha cercato di sorprendere le avversarie, ma non ci sta l'Olanda all'acqua 4. Olanda che ha vinto il titolo europeo 2 settimane fa in Bulgaria con Roos de Jong, che fu seconda anche lo scorso anno in 4 di coppia ai Giochi Olimpici, e adesso in coppia con Bente Bostra, che agli europei ha gareggiato nel singolo ma è campionessa olimpica nel 4 senza. Quindi due atlete di altissimo livello che stanno cercando di non far scappare le avversarie cinesi. Poi anche Nuova Zelanda a mantenere il contatto per non perdere il treno davanti, che è quello che sta cercando di far l'andatura. Ancora la Cina comunque a condurre, poi Olanda, Nuova Zelanda al passaggio ai primi 500 metri, con Stati Uniti, Gran Bretagna e Svizzera a completare questa finale del doppio femminile.
Really impressive start here for the People's Republic of China. They've taken the lead, but very much in contention at the moment. The crew from Netherlands and New Zealand nipping at their heels there, Tim.
Yeah, and it's great to see the Chinese double going toe-to-toe with the Dutch. Those two crews, of course, not racing against each other from the heat. So the final A is the one and only chance they have to measure themselves against each other. And of course, plenty of experience in that crew from China, with two Olympic champions from the Tokyo Olympic Games in that boat, and they are going all the way against Roos de Jong and Bente Boonstra, that new combination from the Netherlands. Roos de Jong, of course, racing with Tessa Dullemans at the Europeans, but Tessa is now stroking the women's quad, and we'll see her racing at two more races time. So in the second 500, the Chinese still leading by about 3 to 4 feet ahead of the Netherlands, who are firmly in silver medal position. And then there's a bit of a gap. I'd say New Zealand is looking quite strong out there. The combination of Glenn and Clayton Green, who are reunited. I think they raced together all the way back in 2018 in the junior categories, and now they are here at the senior level, and they are going all out against the United States of America, Flynn and Joyce, for that bronze medal. And the Kiwis then third across 1,000, then the USA, and then the combination from Great Britain with Keto and Abukawu in fifth at the moment. And I have to look out the window, but there they are, Switzerland, Ulrich and Schweitzer sixth at the moment, clear water down from the leading pack. But the race is on for the gold and the silver. China still leading and putting a bit more margin into the Dutch, still in silver medal position.
In questa parte della gara sono due gli equipaggi da tenere sott'occhio per la gara che stanno facendo tra di loro. Infatti l'Acqua 3, la Cina, che sta comandando questa finale, vuole assicurarsi la prima posizione rispondendo continuamente all'attacco dell'Olanda, che passate 1000 ha aumentato i colpi, ha aumentato la velocità per mettere tanta pressione alla Cina, magari sperando che in una seconda parte di gara possano invece cedere. Quindi una gara nella gara. Interessante vedere questi due equipaggi, seguito poi invece dalla attuale posizione per il bronzo dalla Nuova Zelanda, con capovoga Clayton Green e la prodiera Glenn, che stanno combattendo anche loro con 36 colpi al minuto, cercano di rispondere al contrattacco degli Stati Uniti, che con gli stessi numeri di colpi non vogliono mollare quella posizione e combattere fino alla fine. Va a chiudere invece la Svizzera e la Gran Bretagna per questa finale del doppio femminile. E ora, con 600 metri alla fine di questa finale, troviamo ancora una Cina che sta dominando con 38 colpi al minuto, ma attenzione all'Olanda che non sta mollando e adesso si sta preparando per l'attacco finale.
Coming through 1500, the Dutch trying to make a move, the Chinese responding, that's the 1-2, and New Zealand still in bronze medal position. The USA going for that bronze as well, though, sprinting at 38 strokes a minute, Richie.
It did look like the Netherlands crew were putting pressure on the Chinese crew coming into that 500 metre to go mark, but the Chinese have responded really well here to open up a little bit more of a lead, but they're all starting into their sprint finishes now. I think it's going to be a race for gold and silver between China and the Netherlands, and then a separate race for the bronze medal between New Zealand and USA.
Insiste l'azione della formazione cinese che rimane lì davanti in mezza lunghezza sull'Olanda, che prova il tutto per cercare di agganciare le battistrada, che forse ne appoggiano un pochino meglio nel finale. Continuano a mantenere più o meno a parità di colpi, anzi l'Olanda adesso sta salendo, sta cercando il tutto per tutto, le boe rosse, lo sprint finale, è qui che si gioca l'ultima chance per la medaglia d'oro. Prova l'Olanda a riagganciare la Cina lì davanti, in terza posizione Nuova Zelanda.
The Dutch crew, one of the fastest out on the boats as they wind up to the line, but the Chinese crew respond yet again, and they're trying to push on here and secure that gold medal. The Netherlands in second at the moment. It's clear water back between the USA and New Zealand for that bronze. Sprinting to the line here, it looks like China might hold off, but again, the Dutch crew just powering in towards, they're going to run out of water just by half a length. Arms aloft. And a shake of the hands for the Chinese crew. They take the gold medal ahead of the Netherlands in second place. And it was the crew from New Zealand who getting in, it looks like, for the bronze medal. They're your gold medal winners in the women's doubles sculls for China. Chen and Shan, an amazing race from them, leading it out from the start, holding off at a really strong challenge that came from the Netherlands, but taking the gold medal. The Netherlands in second place. Roos de Jong and Bethna Boostra picking up that silver medal. And then it was the crew from New Zealand getting in to take the bronze. Caitlin Glenn and Stella Clayton-Green, really solid last 500 from them, securing the bronze ahead of the USA in fourth place, Switzerland in fifth, and Great Britain in sixth. The victory ceremony for the men's four. The medals will be presented by World Rowing Council member Angela Alonso Fernandez, accompanied by President of the Province of Varese, Marco Magrini. Winners of the bronze medal, the Netherlands, represented by Eli Browner, Jorn Salverda, Wilbert Rosenberg, and Rick Ranks. Winners of the silver medal, the Netherlands, represented by Ralph Franks, Peter van Veen, Sander de Graaf, and Mick Maker. Winners of the gold medal, Australia! Represented by Nicholas Bender, Fergus Hamilton, Austin Reinher, and Alex Hill. Varese, give it up for your bronze medalists, the Netherlands. Your silver medalists, the Netherlands. And your gold medalists, Australia. The A final of the men's double sculls. Lane 1, Australia, Oscar McGuinness and Mitchell Reinhardt. Lane 2 for Poland, Jakub Wozniak and Konrad Domanski. Lane 3 for Italy, Niels Torre and Gabriel Soares. In lane 4 for Switzerland, Kai Schatzel and Rafael Ahumada. Lane 5 for New Zealand, Finlay Hamill and Benjamin Mason. And lane 6 for Belgium, Marlon Copiert and Thibaut Yves.
Belgium, attention.
And we are underway now with final A of the men's double sculls. Once again, it's Australia in lane 1, Poland lane 2, Italy lane 3, Switzerland in lane 4, New Zealand lane 5 and Belgium in lane 6. All coming through heats and semi-finals. Fastest out of those, but just by half a second, it was the Italian crew of Niels Torre and Gabriel Soares, the lightweights, stepping up into the men's double sculls here and already making their mark in this category. They're leading it out coming off the first few strokes, but again, it's just the full first few strokes, so there's very little separating all the crews at the moment between Italy, Australia and Poland. They're the 1, 2 and 3, a little bit further back then to New Zealand, Switzerland, but you can see on screen they're all side by side with just about a length of the boat separating all 6 crews. But looking good so far for the early leaders here. It's Poland now moving in ahead of Italy.
Tempo di reazione rapidissimo, la luce verde da parte della formazione azzurra, quella composta da Gabriel Soares, vicecampione olimpico, e Niels Torre, che sono scattati veramente veloci, ma poi c'è il Belgio e la Polonia che sanno quanto possono essere insidiosi i nostri ragazzi, e quindi non gli lasciano spazio, stanno cercando di mantenere una velocità molto alta. Quindi in questo momento, quando è trascorso poco più di un minuto dalla partenza, 6 equipaggi praticamente sulla stessa linea cercano di rimanere lì davanti i nostri azzurri, ma in questo momento è la prua della Polonia quella che si fa vedere un pochino lì davanti alle altre.
We're seeing some amazing side-by-side footage here showing just how close it is between all the crews coming through 500 metres and just 0.76 separating them all as they went through the marker there. So I hope, Tim and Alessandra, you've gotten the eye drops in, the glasses on to try call it as they come up towards you in the 1,000 metres.
Yeah, thanks, Richie. And what an amazing race to watch, this A final of the men's double. It is also great to see some former lightweights racing in this open class event. And of course, all eyes will be on the Italian combination of Gabriel Soares and Niels Torre in the bow seat of that Italian double. Of course, Niels Torre will best time holder in the lightweight single. And they are looking to impress here on home water. The quick starting crew from Poland, Wozniak and Domanski, they are still leading, but by a whisker, because the Swiss are gunning for them. Rafael Ahumada and Kai Schatzler really going for it, just a couple of feet from the front of the race, and Italy moving with them, currently in bronze medal position. But as you mentioned, Richie, there is absolutely nothing to call just yet, because all of these crews are still within a boat length of each other, perhaps 3/4 of a boat length, approaching 1,000 meters gone. But the aggressive style from the Poles, really quick on the pickup, a very explosive leg drive there from Domanski and Wozniak. But I reckon the Swiss are now also making a move here just before halfway and going with them. It is the Kiwis, of course, with Finn Hamill in the bow seat, joined with Ben Mason there. That is also a crew to watch, and there's 4 crews in the center lanes going for it. The Belgians still not out of it. They are racing an outside lane, but Thibaut Yves taking a big look to his left now, and they are really motoring along. So nothing to choose just yet. No medals at 1,000. We'll have to wait a bit, but it's looking good for the center lanes, Italy, Switzerland and Poland.
Che finale grandioso, questo è wow, forse la mia gara preferita fino adesso. Sono passati ai primi 500 metri tutti gli equipaggi solamente con 76 centesimi di differenza, e ai 1000 fondamentalmente la situazione non è cambiata più di tanto, dove però adesso troviamo leggermente in vantaggio la Svizzera, che si sta graffiando l'acqua in tutti i modi per mantenere questa prima posizione, perché non può rilassarsi assolutamente, perché abbiamo l'equipaggio italiano, Soares e Torre, che stanno combattendo e sicuramente faranno vedere la loro aggressività. Ci vuole ritmo, coordinazione e concentrazione, perché tutti gli equipaggi sono uno di fianco all'altro e non ci si può rilassare assolutamente. Abbiamo ancora in testa la Svizzera, seguita da una bella battaglia tra Italia e Nuova Zelanda, ma attenzione anche perché è molto veloce anche la Polonia, a chiudere Australia e Belgio, che comunque sono in una posizione leggermente più attardata, però come abbiamo visto nelle finali di oggi può succedere di tutto, perché possono preparare un grandissimo attacco. Tutti gli equipaggi ora sono sopra i 40 colpi al minuto, un finale incredibile al cardiopalmo, e vediamo ora, con quasi 400 metri dalla fine della gara, come si chiuderà questa meravigliosa e intensa finale.
Switzerland pushing through quite decisively at the moment. The Kiwis also on the move, maybe even pushing into that silver medal position, Richie. The Italians still clinging on to the bronze.
Just about, and these three now opening up clear water coming into the last 500, so it looks like they're in the mix for the medals. The Swiss crew going from 6th through the 500-metre mark, leading it out now in the run into the finish. The question is, had they got enough to get them all the way to the gold medal in the run into the finish? New Zealand powering on here and doing their best to get back into contention, and the Italian crew holding on to bronze medal at the moment.
Poderosa l'azione della formazione svizzera, sesta agli europei, ma in questo caso in splendida forma, si è messa subito lì davanti e sta cercando di tenere quasi una lunghezza di vantaggio, mentre grande battaglia per la seconda posizione tra la Nuova Zelanda, che è ancora qualche centimetro davanti ai nostri azzurri, che però stanno incrementando la loro velocità. Grandissima l'azione di Gabriel Soares, ben sorretto da Nils Torre lì al numero 2, che cerca di insidiare la Nuova Zelanda per il secondo posto, e chi lo sa se riuscire a impensierire anche la Svizzera per la medaglia d'oro.
The Italians up at 46 per minute, but it won't be enough to secure the gold medal. It was the Swiss crew that crossed the line. Kai Schatzel in the bow seat, Rafael Ahumada in the stroke seat, taking the gold medal. A fantastic second half of the race for them, securing the gold. Alexis Beckenson, the coach, will be happy with that performance there. The Italians, Torre and Soares, did all that they could to get back into contention and just took the silver medal ahead of Hamill and Mason. Look at the time between silver and bronze, 0.03 of a second between the two, between Italy and New Zealand with their sprint finishes. It was fourth place then to Belgium ahead of Poland in fifth and Australia in sixth, but a fantastic display there from Switzerland, securing the gold. And a really exciting finish there, the photo finish between Italy and New Zealand. Italy just getting ahead of New Zealand. They're the 1, 2 and 3 in the final of the men's double scull. The victory ceremony for the women's double sculls. The medals will be presented by World Rowing Council member Victoria Aguera Gomez Corta, accompanied by Regional President of the Italian Olympic Committee of Lombardia, Marco Riva. Winners of the bronze medal, New Zealand, Catherine Glenn and Stella Clayton-Green. Winners of the silver medal, the Netherlands, represented by Roos de Jong and Bethna Boostra. Winners of the gold medal, the People's Republic of China, represented by Shen Chu-she and Zhang Ling. Varese, give it up for your bronze medalists, New Zealand. Your silver medalists, the Netherlands. And your gold medalists, the People's Republic of China. The final of the women's quadruple sculls. In lane 1, Italy, stroked by Elena Sali. Lane 2, Czechia, stroked Teresa Yantsova. Lane 3, the Netherlands, stroked Tessa Dolmans. Lane 4, Germany, stroke Lisa Gutfleisch. Lane 5, Italy 2, stroke Aurora Spirito. And lane 6, the People's Republic of China, stroke Ren Yangwing.
Italia 2, China, attention.
And we are underway in the final of the women's quadruple sculls. All eyes will be on the centre two crews, the fastest coming out of the heats. That is the Netherlands and Germany, side by side in lanes 3 and lane 4. Off to a very high rating start for the German crew, 47 strokes per minute. But it is the Dutch crew just on the surge at the moment that are leading it out ahead of the crew. Side-by-side footage, you can see as they come into the first 100 metres just how close it is getting into that race pace as they settle in after the first 250 and approach the 500 metre mark. Still the Netherlands leave it out. They just about a canvas, but there's really just half a canvas on the surge between them and Germany. They're the 1 and 2. Czechia in third place at the moment, and then it's neck and neck between the two Italian crews back in 4th and 5th, with the People's Republic of China just at the moment in 6th place, settling into a little bit of race pace now and into their second half of the 500.
Finale del 4 di coppia femminile con 2 equipaggi azzurri in questa gara, ma lì davanti sono Olanda e Germania a far l'andatura, con la Germania seconda al campionato europeo che cerca di sopravanzare l'Olanda che ha cambiato, terza agli europei, ha sostituito la capovoga prendendo appunto la capovoga del doppio vincitore del titolo continentale, mettendolo sul quadruplo per vedere se la velocità di questa imbarcazione può cambiare. In questo momento è la prua Orange quella che sta facendo l'andatura, tallonata dalla formazione tedesca lì davanti, che continua a mantenere il contatto.
So the all-important 500 metre mark is just coming up, and now it is the Netherlands leading it out ahead of Germany and Czechia. These three with a slight bit of a lead opening up ahead of the 2 Italian crews and the People's Republic of China. So everyone in the mix here, Tim, for the medals.
Yeah, still everything to play for, Richie, and great to see that that match-up between Germany and the Netherlands. The Germans impressed in their heat. They looked relatively unfazed and quite relaxed, taking the win there. Not really pressed until the very last bit of that heat. But the Dutch were quite a bit quicker in their heat. Didn't feel any pressure in that heat as well, but they raced to a 6:20, whereas the Germans produced a 6:27. So that's quite a large margin. But I'm guessing here in the A final, things will be a bit more evenly matched, with the Dutch leading in this second 500. Tessa Dullemans moving in the stroke seat, the same seat she had at the Paris Olympic Games in the same boat class, winning a silver medal there. And she's taken Willemijn Mulder, Margot Leeuwenburg and Lisa Bruinings with her. And Lisa Bruinings, of course, experienced athlete, multiple medals at the junior and under-23 levels. And that new form Dutch crew is looking so solid out on the water. You can't really tell that this crew just came together just 1.5 weeks ago, and they are really motoring along, doing so well here, racing out in front, opening up to almost 3/4 of a length ahead of Germany in silver medal position. And then we look to the crew from Czechia for the bronze. A bit of clear water then to Italy. The two Italian crews evenly matched at this stage. The only crew out of the pack is that Chinese crew in lane number 6, but that is a relatively inexperienced crew, quite young athletes who haven't competed that much on this senior level at world rowing level. But the race out in front, the Dutch look cool, calm and collected. With the Germans now 1.5 seconds adrift in silver medal position. We'll see how it pans out in the third quarter.
Ed è l'Olanda che continua a comandare questa finale A. Sono appena passato e ho visto un'azione pulitissima e bellissima dell'equipaggio olandese con capovoga, la vice campionessa a Parigi della specialità, quindi sicuramente con tanta esperienza. Che può aiutare, supportata dalle sue compagne di barca, a conquistare una bellissima medaglia. Loro sono arrivate terze all'europeo e stanno combattendo con la Germania, che invece è vice campione d'Europa in questa specialità. Con 38 colpi al minuto stanno cercando di allontanarsi dalla Repubblica Ceca, che attualmente sta mantenendo la posizione per il bronzo, seguita poi dai due equipaggi italiani, Italia 1 e Italia 2, Italia 1 con capovoga Sali e Italia 2 con capovoga Spirito. È un po' più attardata invece la Cina. Ora ci stiamo avvicinando alla parte più intensa della gara, dove si possono fare magari previsioni un po' più sicure, e abbiamo ancora a comandare l'Olanda con 38 colpi al minuto, che vuole rassicurare quella medaglia d'oro, seguita poi dalla Germania e dalla Repubblica Ceca.
Pretty much the same order, crossing 1,500 meters as it was at 1,000, Richie. The Dutch look cool, 38 strokes a minute. The Germans trying, but not really making an effective move for that gold medal at the moment.
Yeah, that consistent boat speed of the Netherlands. They're not having to put a push on, but the boat speed is that bit quicker than the chasing pack that are there. So it's allowing them to establish more of a lead coming into the last quarter of this race here. So they're looking good for the gold at the moment, as indeed Germany are for the silver. The question is what kind of a sprint finish Czechia have to see if they can go move from the bronze medal they're in currently up into the silver medal. A little bit further back then to the chasing pack of the two Italian crews and the People's Republic of China.
Evidentemente ha dato i suoi frutti l'inserimento della capovoga vicecampionessa olimpica nella formazione dell'Olanda, perché sta andando veramente bene questa formazione, che sta dando una lunghezza intera di fatto in questo momento all'equipaggio tedesco in seconda posizione, braccato alla Repubblica Ceca in questo momento in terza piazza, quarto e quinto posto per le due formazioni azzurre, a completare poi la Cina. Ma insiste la splendida azione dell'Olanda lì davanti, che si invola verso il traguardo.
What a display from the Dutch crew. They power onto the line here, maintaining the lead that they had coming into the last 500. They're going to take the gold medal with just the smallest margin of clear water back to the crew from Germany, securing silver ahead of Czechia in third, and a fast finishing Italian crew, Italy 1 and Italy 2, taking fourth and fifth. And then clear water back to the crew from the People's Republic of China, finishing in sixth to close out the final of the women's quadruple sculls. A fantastic win there for the Dutch crew, taking the gold medal. In second place, it was Germany. You can see again just the effort it took from the crews there in the heats and into the final and into their second or third day of racing here. Czechia picking up the bronze medal. They're the 1, 2 and 3. Italy 1, Italy 2, 4th and 5th, and the People's Republic of China in 6th. The victory ceremony for the men's doubles sculls. The medals will be presented by World Rowing President Jean-Christophe Rolland, accompanied by Italian Rowing Federation Vice President Fabrizio Quaglino. Winners of the bronze medal. New Zealand, represented by Finlay Hamill and Benjamin Mason. Winners of the silver medal, Italy, represented by Niels Torre and Gabriel Soares. Winners of the gold medal, Switzerland, represented by Kai Schatzel and Rafael Ahumada. Varese, give it up for your bronze medalists, New Zealand, your silver medalists, Italy, and your gold medalists, Switzerland. The final of the men's quadruple sculls. Lane 1, Italy 2s, stroke Andrea Pagzilia. Lane 2, Poland 2, stroke Daniel Galeza. Lane 3, Great Britain, stroke Rory Harris. Lane 4, Poland 1, stroke Matthias Biskup. Lane 5, Italy 1, stroke by Giacomo Gentili. And lane 6, the Netherlands, stroke Persin van Heringen.
Poland, Italy, the Netherlands, attention.
And we are underway with the next final A of the men's quadruple sculls, racing through the heats and into the six-boat final. The fastest crew, as to be expected. They've dominated this event over a number of years. It is the Polish crew in lane 4. The other crew were just as fast, but not quite as fast as the Great British crew. And we do have a change there. Unfortunately, Callum Dixon in the 2-seat was unable to compete in the final due to medical reasons. We wish him a speedy recovery. And it's Thomas Barris taking the 2-seat for the Great British crew. Off of the start, it is high 40s as we expect, 46, 48 strokes per minute, settling down now into the first 200 metres. Leading it out, it's the Polish crew ahead of the second Polish crew, so they're the 1 and 2 at the moment, and very much in contention as well, the Italians.
Partita molto forte anche la finale del 4 di coppia maschile, anche in questo caso 2 le formazioni azzurre, ma vediamo la Polonia lì in acqua 4 partire subito molto forte, cercare di fare l'andatura. Equipaggio polacco che ha fatto una modifica rispetto al campionato europeo, ha inserito il doppio campione continentale all'interno di questa formazione per vedere se può migliorare ancora di più la sua performance. Nell'equipaggio dell'Inghilterra, vincitore del titolo continentale, è stato sostituito per motivi medici Callum Dixon, al suo posto Thomas Barras, entrambi all'interno della formazione che ai Giochi Olimpici fu quarta alle spalle della Polonia. E in questo momento, quando passano ai 500 metri, è la formazione polacca appunto a passare lì davanti, ma tallonata a stretto giro dai nostri azzurri che, differentemente dalla Bulgaria, sono partiti molto molto bene. Quindi Matteo Sartori, Luca Rambaldi, Andrea Panizza e Giacomo Gentili, per 3 quarti vice campioni olimpici di Parigi, stanno regattando molto bene e cercano di mantenere il contatto con la formazione polacca.
So they've gone through the 500-metre mark, and it's the Polish 1 crew leading it out ahead of Italy 1, the Netherlands, and very much within striking distance. The other 3 crews, Poland 2, Italy 2, Great Britain, all 2 seconds, Tim, just separating first to sixth.
Yeah, nothing in it at this stage of the race. 750 meters gone. We're approaching halfway, and the Polish crew, stroked by Mateusz Biskop, is racing at the front of the field. But, well, I say that, and instantly I'm proven wrong by the Italians. The crew from Italy 1, stroked by Gentili, making a move now, putting their bow balls ahead of the Polish combination to their left. Impressive first kilometer by the Dutch crew, a relatively inexperienced crew and a completely different lineup from the quad that won the Olympic title in Paris last year. But they are doing well, keeping themselves into bronze medal position at the moment. Going with them, GB, of course, it's so difficult to row with a substitute on board, but Tom Barris, of course, a quality athlete in his own right, but you need to gel so quickly together in this A final to get a medal here. But they're doing quite well. They're still in contact with the leading 2 crews, and then on the far side the young crew from Poland 2, that development crew, racing with the Italian development crew for places 5 and 6.
Che azione brillante e meravigliosa quella della nostra Italia, con Giacomo, Andrea, Luca e Matteo che sono passati ai 1000 in testa, mantenendo 39 colpi al minuto per resistere all'attacco della Polonia, e non è una novità vedere queste 2 nazioni combattere in questa specialità, quindi sarà bellissimo vedere come combatteranno fino alla fine. Al terzo posto, a 750 metri dalla fine della gara, invece troviamo un'Olanda aggressiva che proprio in questo momento sta cercando di guadagnare ancora più velocità, perché subito dopo c'è la Gran Bretagna, che ha appena aumentato anche il numero di colpi, perché ormai ci stiamo avvicinando alla fine di questa gara. Bisogna rimanere lucidi perché i polmoni bruciano, il cuore batte, le gambe sono affaticate, ma la testa deve assolutamente reagire, perché qui ci sono delle medaglie da aggrappare. Ancora la nostra Italia, comandata da Giacomo Gentili, con 40 colpi sta cercando di difendere l'attacco dalla Polonia. Al terzo posto per adesso possiamo trovare ancora l'Olanda.
The Polish crew really going for it, but the Italians have established themselves firmly in gold medal position. Poland, the silver medal at the moment. The Dutch still cling on to that bronze medal, but GB is lurking in fourth position, trying to claim that last podium spot.
I think the gold and silver looking secure so far in the run-in towards the finish, and it might be a race for bronze here as they approach into the finish. The Italians a really solid 500. They've moved into gold medal position and opened up clear water ahead of the Polish. It might be gold for Italy.
Fantastica l'azione dei nostri azzurri di Italia 1, capitanati da Giacomo Gentili, che lì davanti stanno cercando di riscattarsi da quella amarezza del campionato europeo, quindi partiti molto bene, grande la loro azione, potente, hanno messo quasi una lunghezza sull'equipaggio polacco in seconda posizione. Lì dietro la Gran Bretagna sta cercando di rintuzzare per provare a prendere la medaglia di bronzo ai danni dell'Olanda. Ancora continua l'azione degli azzurri, veramente una cavalcata incredibile, imperiosa fin sul traguardo, e vanno a vincere la medaglia d'oro. Seconda posizione medaglia d'argento per la Polonia, terza la Gran Bretagna che riesce a compiere il sorpasso sull'Olanda, quarta sul traguardo.
So an unbelievable sprint finish there from all 6 crews making their way down to the line, but it was the Italians, the home crew, taking the gold medal there. Sartori, Rimbaldi, Pandida and Gentili in the stroke seat, just powering home, managing to hold off the challenge that came from the silver medals. Poland's the early leaders, they managed to hold on in the sprint finish for the silver medal in the men's quadruple sculls. So home win there for Italy ahead of Poland in second place. And it was the crew from Great Britain getting in to take third in the men's quadruple sculls. Thumbs up from the great British crew, congratulating the winners, Italy, on their home turf win in the men's quad sculls. The victory ceremony for the women's quadruple sculls. The medals will be presented by World Rowing Executive Director Vincent Galliard, accompanied by Varese Rowing President Paolo Consoni. Winners of the bronze medal, Czechia, represented by Marketa Nedlova, Alzbeta Zavadilova, Mikhaila Popsilivova, and Teresa Yantsova. Winners of the silver medal, Germany, represented by Sarah Wibbenrentz, Frauke Hundling, Pia Greiten, and Lisa Gutfleisch. Winners of the gold medal, the Netherlands, represented by Lise Brunings, Marga Leuenberg, Wilhelmine Mulder, and Tessa Dolmans. Varese, give it up for your bronze medalists, Czechia. Your silver medalists, Germany. And your gold medalists, the Netherlands. The final of the men's single sculls. In lane 1 for the People's Republic of China, Han Wei. In lane 2 for Norway, Jonas Saltmark Hjul. In lane 3, Netherlands 2, Melvin Tweller. In lane 4, for Netherlands 1, Simon van Dorp. Lane 5, for the United States of America, Jacob Plihal. And lane 6 for Belgium, Tim Bryce.
China, Norway, the Netherlands 2, the Netherlands 1, United States of America, Belgium, attention.
And we are underway with the men's single scull A finals. Very tough racing so far. These competitors have had to go through the heats, the quarterfinals, the semi-finals, and now into the final. Could it be a 1-2 for the Netherlands? Both Melvin Tweller and Simon van Dorp have posted some of the fastest times coming through the semi-finals, but also in the mix, the man celebrating his birthday next week, Jacob Plihal of United States of America. Maybe he can get into the mix and having a double celebration over the next few days. Also in the mix and very experienced is Hjul of Norway and Tim Bryce of Belgium as well, and Han Wei of China. Settling into the race pace, it is Netherlands 1, Simon van Dorp just at the moment opening up a little bit of lead, but matching stroke by stroke right beside him, the other Dutch sculler, Melvin Tweller. They're the 1 and 2 at the moment, ahead of Jacob Plihal of United States in third. 1, 2 and 3, Tim Bryce of Belgium in fourth place at the moment, ahead of the People's Republic of China and Norway back in fifth and sixth.
Anche se sono tutti ancora molto ravvicinati in questa finale del singolo maschile, vediamo le due formazioni olandesi darsi battaglia subito dalla luce verde con Simon van Dorp, terzo medaglia di bronzo ai Giochi Olimpici nella specialità lo scorso anno e argento agli europei, ma nel 4 di coppia, adesso è ritornato nel singolo, cerca di fare subito l'andatura, una prua la sua di vantaggio in questo momento quando è passato 1 minuto e mezzo dalla luce verde, ma rimangono incollati tutti gli altri avversari. Ovviamente è una gara molto tirata. Adesso Simon van Dorp cercherà di allungarsi, proverà a fare la differenza sugli avversari che sicuramente non gliela renderanno facile.
An absolutely blistering start made by all 6 scullers as they went through 500. It's Simon van Dorp leading it out in ahead of Tim Bryce in second place, Jacob Plihal in third. They're the 1, 2 and 3. Melvin Tweller back in third place along with Han Wei of People's Republic of China fourth and Hjul of Norway in sixth. Tim, looking good for Simon so far, but what a field chasing him down.
Yeah, quality all round, and we've seen some amazing racing in this men's single event. But yeah, we were just discussing, if you're Melvin Tweller, what would you do out of the start? And we figured he would go out of the blocks as a rocket, and you could see that by the rates of striking. But he's now settling in, Melvin Tweller, of course, a World Championship silver medalist back in 2022 in this event. So plenty of pedigree racing in the single, although we have seen him racing in the double with Stef Bruning for the last few years. Simon van Dorp leading at the moment. I think he's improving every race we see from him, and he's looking so strong out in front. But yeah, no rest for the wicket because there's so many athletes hunting him down. Huel from Norway was really impressive in the quarterfinals and the semi-final. An athlete that doesn't go out of the blocks really quickly, but really builds speed into his race. And on the far side, we see Han Wei from China, the 24-year-old, who's doing really well, I should say, to be about 4th overall at the moment. Tim Bries, former lightweight, closest to the camera in lane number 6. He's really going for it. I think the Belgium just about in bronze medal position as Tellaar now crosses a 1,000-meter mark. I think having expended too much energy too soon. So the 1, 2, 3, Simon van Dorp, Vleehal from the USA, Tim Bries at the moment, but the chase is on by the Norwegian Sculls on the far side. Keep a close eye on Huel from Norway.
Gli spettatori olandesi saranno entusiasti di vedere che Simon van Dorp sta cercando di riconfermarsi in quella che è la sua specialità. Infatti ricordiamo, come è stato menzionato anche da Rossano, è medaglia di bronzo a Parigi nella specialità. Però il bello della Coppa del Mondo è che possiamo vedere più di un equipaggio della stessa nazione gareggiare. Adesso il connazionale olandese si trova un po' più distaccato rispetto agli altri, però tutti i singolisti sono abbastanza veloci e uno di fianco all'altro. Sta mantenendo testa l'olandese Van Dorp, seguito però dal singolista americano che ha portato il singolo a Parigi e sta cercando una rivalsa in questa Coppa del Mondo, Jacob Vleehal, che è passato a poco più di un secondo ai 1000 metri da Van Dorp e adesso lo sta inseguendo con lo stesso numero di colpi e una velocità leggermente maggiore, ma sicuramente non si farà sfuggire nessun attacco. Nella posizione del bronzo troviamo invece Huel della Norvegia, che però deve rispondere continuamente all'attacco dell'ex peso leggero Tim Bries del Belgio, che appunto lui ha portato il doppio pesi leggeri a Parigi e ora si trova invece a gareggiare contro i senior. Ancora una volta una grande dimostrazione della qualità dei pesi leggeri contro i senior, e ormai ci stiamo avvicinando agli ultimi 500-400 metri della gara. Troviamo ancora Van Dorp nella posizione dell'oro, seguito dall'americano, e a chiudere il norvegese.
Van Dorp using this third 500 to push himself further away from the American to his left, and of course keep that close eye on Huel, who is really lurking there. He's about a full length and perhaps a bit of clear water down, but is firmly in bronze medal position. But we know that Tim Bries, who is now in 4th position overall, is a great finisher. So we'll see how it pans out. Simon van Dorp leading the charge home.
So the challenge that we thought might come from Melvin Tweller, the fastest out of the heats, not materialising here. It's Simon van Dorp for the Netherlands leading it out ahead of Jacob Vleehal of USA in 2nd place, and the race is on for bronze. Very little between all the scutters that come in, but a fine display of rowing here from Simon van Dorp.
Bel salto di qualità per l'atleta americano che ha raggiunto l'ultimo pass disponibile lo scorso anno per le Olimpiadi nella specialità del singolo, ma non basta per cercare di insidiare la leadership di Simon van Dorp, che si sta involando meritatamente verso il traguardo. Sin da subito si è messo di davanti, ha cercato di costruire un bel vantaggio, però vediamo dietro Stati Uniti d'America e poi Norvegia per la 3ª posizione, insidiata poi dall'equipaggio cinese in 4ª piazza, che cerca un'accelerazione finale che non basta.
So really powerful display there from our winner. Simon van Dorp takes the win in the men's singles sculls. Dominated it from the start, holding on to a clear water lead. Punches the air in celebration there. Thumbs up from Jacob Vleehal as well, taking the silver medal. Great race from him to take the silver. Just ahead then of Huel of Norway, who came in to take 3rd, ahead of a fast finishing Han Wei of the People's Republic of China. It looked like might have gotten in ahead of Tim Bries, but Tim Bries just holding on, Belgium ahead of Han Wei of China for 4th and 5th, and Melvin Tweller closing out the final A of the men's singles sculls in 6th place. So gold for Netherlands, silver to USA and bronze to Norway. the victory ceremony for the men's quadruple sculls. The medals will be presented by World Rowing Council member Henk-Jan Zolle, accompanied by the Minister for Economy and Finance Giancarlo Giorgetti. Winners of the bronze medal, Great Britain, represented by Cedal Daffyd, Thomas Barris, Matthew Haywood, and Rory Harris. Winners of the silver medal, Poland, represented by Dominik Zdziarza, Peter Plominski, Miroslav Ziecki, and Mateusz Biskup. Winners of the gold medal, Italy, represented by Matteo Sottori, Luca Rambaldi, Andrea Panizza, and Giacomo Gentili. Varese, give it up for your bronze medalists, Great Britain, your silver medalists, Poland, and your gold medalists, Italy! The final of the women's 8.
Finale dell'otto femminile.
Lane 1, the People's Republic of China, stroke Li Shu, and cox by Xiao Yafi. Lane 2, Italy, stroke Alice Carota and cox Emanuela Caponi. Lane 3, United States of America, stroke Kate Knifton and cox Nina Castanaga. Lane 4, Great Britain, stroke Megan Slabbert and cox Jack Totem. Lane 5,
Attention.
We are underway for the next final, the final of the women's 8 between China lane 1, Italy lane 2, USA in lane 3, Great Britain lane 4, Australia lane 5 and Germany in lane 6. A lot of very familiar names we've seen up on screen there because they've raced already today, doubling up in a number of the fours races, some of them also racing in the mixed race that we had yesterday as well. After a very clean start, you can see how high the strokes are going, up at 47 strokes per minute in the first few hundred metres here. Leading it out at the moment, Great Britain just taking an early lead ahead of Italy. They're the 1 and 2 at the moment, with Germany in the mix for the bronze medal.
È partita anche la finale dell'ammiraglia femminile, dove troviamo l'equipaggio azzurro terzo ai campionati europei di Plodvid, con a capovoga Alice Codato, sostenuta da Laura Meriano, già vincitrice del 2 senza, quindi in seconda gara, ma partite molto bene, anche se in questo momento è la Gran Bretagna, la formazione che ha vinto il titolo europeo, nazione che lo scorso anno alle Olimpiadi fu terza, che sta cercando di fare l'andatura, partita molto bene, cerca di portarsi avanti a 40 colpi al minuto, ma tengono bene le nostre azzurre, che mantengono un contatto stretto con il battistrada.
So they're fast approaching the 500-metre mark and still doing all the running. The Great British crew in the centre of the course in lane 4, leading it out now at the moment, ahead of a very close contest for the silver and the bronze medal between Italy and Australia. Tim, looking very close there between those two crews.
Yeah, nothing splitting them. Just past 500 metres gone. It is GB leading and ahead of Italy in silver medal position, and Germany, a bit of a surprise to see one of the outside lanes featuring so strongly in the first 500 metres. That German crew, fifth in the Europeans in Plovdiv, with new crew members coming into that crew to strengthen it. So it may be paying off for the Germans. They're doing quite well though, but we'll keep a close eye on the centre lanes, because the USA, of course, also a very rapid crew. They were second in the preliminary race, and that is the reason they're drawn right beside Great Britain. Great Britain stroked by Slobert, a great rhythm, she said. She's of course also the stroke in the women's pair, together with Brinkhoff, and we saw them racing earlier, as you mentioned, Richie. Quite a few of these athletes doubling up and racing the 8 as well as the smaller boat classes. Coming across, or well, nearly across, 800 metres gone. It's still Great Britain leading, building up a decent margin in the second 500, ahead of a few crews. I think only the Chinese crew dropping off the pace. That Chinese crew, a development crew for the People's Republic of China, clear water down. But here come Great Britain, opening up even more space. It's almost a full, well, nearly a full length ahead of the USA in silver medal position. And look at the Italians gunning for that bronze. Going with them though, Australia and Germany not far behind.
Che confronto serratissimo in questa finale, molto molto bello vedere tutti gli equipaggi, sono appena passati dalla nostra torretta, quindi possiamo vedere lo stile diverso di ognuna di queste nazioni che stanno combattendo per le 3 medaglie. Passata prima ai 1000 metri la Gran Bretagna, seguita dagli Stati Uniti e dall'Australia, che però sono a pochi centesimi l'uno dall'altro, quindi non si può ancora fare nessuna previsione. Al quarto posto troviamo una bellissima Italia che sta combattendo, cercando di mantenere più contatto possibile, che è sempre un'ottima strategia di gara, perché ricordiamo sono sempre nelle ultime centinaia di metri che la situazione può cambiare, quindi ottima strategia anche per le nostre italiane. Abbiamo anche una agguerrita Germania che sta attaccando il nostro equipaggio continuamente, non lo lascia respirare, ma sono sicura che le nostre italiane possono reagire anche a questo. Un po' più attardato invece l'otto cinese, che sono tutte ragazze giovanissime, appena 18 anni, 19 anni, quindi sicuramente sarà un investimento per il futuro, quindi sono le nuove leve del canottaggio cinese. Ormai ci stiamo avvicinando agli ultimi 600 metri della gara, dove troviamo ancora la campionessa d'Europa, la Gran Bretagna, seguita dagli Stati Uniti, e per la terza posizione troviamo invece gli Stati Uniti. Ora aspettiamo di vedere che cosa succederà quando suonerà il beep.
I just love the style of the GB8, somewhat reminiscent of the Olympic 8 back from 2000, stroked by Steve Trapmore. Very loose style. The Brits moving out gold medal position. It's very close behind them, with the USA challenging for the silver there, Richie.
Just coming into the run into the finish. Great to see these 8 races powering down here, and a good display from GB, as you said there, Tim. They've dominated the race coming down. USA putting it up to them as well in the silver medal position. I think the race is going to be on for the bronze here between Germany, Australia and the crew from Italy. People's Republic of China, just this young development crew, off the pace at the moment in the run into the finish. It's looking good for GB.
Prova la formazione americana ad accelerare per cercare di rientrare sulla miraglia inglese, che mantiene la testa di questa finale dell'8 femminile. Inghilterra che non concede un centimetro, continua a salire di colpi, continua a aumentare la propria velocità per mantenere la testa di questa gara avvincente, questo finale di gara che vede Inghilterra davanti, Stati Uniti per il secondo posto, poi terza piazza per l'Australia che cerca di vedere di evitare il sorpasso della Germania, quinta piazza in questo momento per l'Italia.
Hugely impressive from all of the crews here, especially the gold and silver medalists. It is GB just holding on over half a length back to the USA in second place. It's Australia holding on to third. They're the 1, 2 and 3 ahead of the crews then from Germany and from Italy and the People's Republic of China just coming in, that young development crew out there in lane 1 on the far side of the enclosure, coming in to close out the women's 8th race. No doubt about the winners. Pats on the back celebrating there from the crew from GB. Second place, the United States of America, putting it up to GB all the way down the track there, getting into within half a length. They're the 1 and 2, and the bronze medal then going to the crew from Australia. They're the 1, 2 and 3. Final of the women's 8s. Gold for Great Britain, silver for USA, and bronze for Australia. The victory ceremony for the men's single sculls. The medal will be presented by World Rowing Council member Victoria Aguero Gomez Corta, accompanied by Area Manager Poretti Alessandro Santinho. Winner of the bronze medal, representing Norway, Jonas Sletmark Hjul. Winner of the silver medal, representing the United States of America, Jacob Plihel. Winner of the gold medal, representing the Netherlands, Simon van Dorp. Varese, give it up for your bronze medalist, Norway. Your silver medalist, United States of America. And your gold medalist, the Netherlands. The final of the women's singles sculls. Lane 1, Belgium, Mazarin Gilbert. Lane 2 for the People's Republic of China, Liu Rishi. Lane 3, Great Britain, Lauren Henry. Lane 4, Uzbekistan, Anna Praktikan. Lane 5, Germany, Julian Faralish. And in Lane 6, Canada, Katie Clark.
Germany, Canada, attention.
We are underway in the women's single sculls final A. These crews again racing through the heat semi-finals and finals. Quite big question going to be asked here. Lauren Henry, can anyone get in any way near her? She was the fastest coming out of the semi-finals by more than 11 seconds over a 2,000 metre course. That is absolutely huge. The chasing pack will probably be led by Uzbekistan and Germany. Praktikan and Faralish, two very experienced scullers at international level, and two of the fastest times coming out of those semi-finals as well. So all eyes on lanes 3, 4 and 5, Great Britain, Uzbekistan and Germany. And in the mix as well, the Belgian sculler, China and Canada. Can they put pressure on those three fastest scullers from the semi-finals and get into the mix for the medals here in the final of the women's single sculls?
È partita molto forte la singolista cinese in questa finale, perché sa che di fianco a lei, alla sua destra, c'è una atleta fenomenale in questa specialità. Ha dimostrato, parlo di Lauren Henry, l'atleta inglese che, forte dell'oro olimpico nel 4 di coppia lo scorso anno, ha deciso di cimentarsi nel singolo. Ai campionati europei ha vinto facendo siglare un crono fantastico. Ieri in semifinale ha gestito veramente una gara con un vantaggio incredibile, facendo comunque registrare il miglior tempo di tutte e due le semifinali, e quindi ha dimostrato veramente uno stato di forma incredibile. Adesso si sta distendendo l'atleta inglese per cercare di prendere il suo passo, la sua azione, sta cercando di mettersi avanti. La Cina continua a mantenere il contatto e la Germania in acqua 5 mantiene anche lei il contatto con la battistrada. Sono a 3/4 di imbarcazione le due dirette inseguitrici dell'atleta inglese, in questo momento molto forte, molto veloce lì davanti.
So no surprise to see Lauren Henry leading it out here, centre of the course in lane 3, coming through 500. Bit of surprise, Tim, to see People's Republic of China in second place ahead of Praktikan and Faralish.
Yeah, we haven't seen Liu for quite a while. She was competing back in 2023, but we missed her in the final year of that Olympic cycle. But she's back, and great to see her racing on Lago di Varese, making a very strong showing in that first opening few hundred meters. But it is Lauren Henry, the European champion, who is, well, unfazed by any early lead by the Chinese. She's really motoring through, and I'm really curious to see not if she wins, but by how much she wins, because she must have been odds on favourite to take a gold medal here, and she's doing what we expect her to do. She's moving out. She's already put almost a length and clear water in most of the competition. Only Julian Faralic from Germany is able to keep up slightly, and what I mean with keeping up, it's a full length down at 900 something meters. So it's great to see Lauren Henry doing so well. She's really driving here at the on the lake, and a really aggressive style of racing from her. She looks in full control. really aggressive on the pickup, and only the German athlete now able to match that speed. So it's GB across 1,000 in a couple of strokes, then Germany silver medal position, and the bronze is very tight. I think it is the Canadian Katie Clark coming across 1,000 meters in bronze medal position, but just a canvas up on the rest of the field, with Gilbert and Liu following closer. The Chinese athlete actually being fourth at the moment, and packed within that it is Anna Pragatin from Uzbekistan still in there as well. So a great race from the Canadian. She is quick in the first half. Let's see if she can keep it up in the next 1,000 meters.
Le scommesse per le medaglie sono in realtà tutte aperte, perché anche se la campionessa inglese Lauren Henry sta comandando questa finale, deve comunque stare attenta alla tedesca Faralish, che le sta dando comunque filo da torcere, con 34 colpi al minuto, quindi un'azione molto più potente rispetto ai 36 colpi al minuto della campionessa inglese. Quindi ottimo che sta combattendo per l'argento. Al terzo posto attualmente possiamo trovare la canadese Katie Clark, che sta difendendo il bronzo con 34 colpi al minuto, ma deve stare anche attenta all'atleta uzbeka, che sicuramente, visto che è la sua specialità, vorrà combattere per provarsi a prendere una medaglia. Quindi, avvicinandoci all'ultimo quarto di gara, abbiamo ancora in testa la Gran Bretagna, che sta mantenendo distanza dalla Germania, seguita poi per il bronzo attualmente del Canada, e un po' più distaccato invece troviamo Belgio, Cina e Uzbekistan.
So not much changing at the front, still Lauren Henry, but behind her it's still tight. Faralish looks relatively secure in silver medal position, but the bronze is still up for grabs. Currently Katie Clark is doing very well to hold on to it, but there's a big sprint coming from Uzbekistan, China, and of course Gilbert from Belgium, so we'll see how it pans out.
Really impressive there for the last few hundred metres from Katie Clark. She's moved from 5th position off the first 500, now in contention for the bronze medal. Has a little bit of work to do to get back into contention for silver, where Liliana Faralish has done all the hard work in trying to keep in contact with Lauren Henry, our current leader and prospective gold medalist here in the final of the women's singles sculls. She's led off the start, similar to all the races she's done there. That fastest time of 11 seconds coming through the semi-finals. You can see just how much of Clearwater she has. Back to Germany in second, and Canada looking good. The chasing back, looking for that bronze medal, will be making their moves now.
Sicuramente ottima la prova fino a qui della tedesca Faralish, ma nulla si può fare rispetto all'azione incredibile della campionessa europea Lauren Henry, l'inglese, che ha cambiato marcia nei secondi 1000 metri e veramente ha fatto il vuoto rispetto alle avversarie, quindi lei è lì davanti meritatamente, che va a cercare a involarsi verso il traguardo per andare a vincere questa prima prova di Coppa del Mondo dopo il titolo europeo, seguita quindi da Germania e Canada rispettivamente per la seconda e la terza piazza.
So the goal looking secure for GB as she powers to the line here, Lauren Henry. Juliana Faralish looking good for the silver. The big ask that we have now is, can the sculler from Canada, it looks like she is coming under pressure from Liu of China with a big, huge sprint finish here just in the last 250 metres, has found something else and now is challenging for the silver medal. Lauren Henry takes the gold, no doubt about that, just on the surge to the line. We'll have to get the photo finish there. So exciting to see the Chinese sculler come back, arms aloft there as well from Juliana Faralish. And it is Juliana Faralish taking the silver medal ahead of the People's Republic of China getting the bronze. A really great sprint finish there, just pipping Katie Clark from Canada into 4th place, ahead of Belgium, Marie-Jeanne Gilbert in 5th place. And the 6th place then going to Anna Pragatin of Uzbekistan. No doubt about the winner there, Lauren Henry, in full control of the race, taking the gold medal. Really exciting finish there, and hard work. A hard-fought silver for Juliana Faralish, celebrating there as she crossed the line, picking up silver medal ahead of a fast-finishing Liu of China, who did really well just to get the better of Katie Clark of Canada, taking the bronze. Katie taking 4th position ahead then of the Belgian sculler and Uzbekistan to close out the final of the women's single sculls. The victory ceremony for the women's 8. The medals will be presented by World Rowing Council member Angela Alonso Fernandez, accompanied by President of AXIEN, Matteo Barbara. Winners of the bronze medal, Australia, represented by Emmy Federico, Elisa Gaffney, Georgie Gleeson, Georgie Rowe, Jamie Ford, Ella Bramwell, Jackie Zwick, Paige Barr, and Hayley Verbunt. Winners of the silver medal, United States of America, represented by Camille Vandermeer, Charlotte Buck, Jess Thones, Alexandra Valencia Martinson, Etta Carpenter, Asja Kajowski, Teal Cohen, Kate Knifton, and Nina Kastner. Winners of the gold medal, Great Britain, represented by Eleanor Brinkhoff, Juliette Perry, Amelia Standing, Martha Birtles, Lauren Irwin, Eve Stewart, Heidi Long, Megan Slabbert, and Jack Totham. Varese. Give it up for your bronze medalists, Australia. Your silver medalists, United States of America. And your gold medalists, Great Britain. The final of the men's 8. In lane 1, Australia, stroke Alex Nicol, Cox Nicholas Dunlop. Lane 2, Italy 1, stroke Giovanni Codotto and Cox Alessandra Faella. Lane 3, Great Britain, stroke Archie Drummond, Cox William Denegri. Lane 4, Germany, stroke Thies Heikmeister and Cox Jonas Weissen. Lane 5, Italy 2, Vincenzo Avignale in the stroke seat, Iliara Colombo, Cox. And at lane 6, the People's Republic of China, Shen Yushang in stroke and Song Yi Hai, coxing.
Attention.
And we are underway with the last race of 3 days of racing here at World Cup Varese, and what a way to finish it out with the men's 8 final. In the preliminary race, it was the crew from Great Britain who led ahead of Germany in second place. Italy won. They were the 1, 2 and 3, with the second Italian crew fourth, ahead of Australia, surprisingly back in fifth, and China in sixth. Its young development crew clearest to us up on screen there in lane 1. Off of the start, leading it out, it is the Chinese crew after getting off to the best start. 45 strokes per minute, opening up a very slight lead against Italy 1. Very much in contention in the first few strokes, as indeed are Germany and Italy 2.
Ed ecco l'ultima gara del programma di questi 3 giorni di Coppa del Mondo, la gara più veloce, l'ammiraglia maschile. Troviamo 2 formazioni azzurre insieme ad Australia, Gran Bretagna, Germania e Cina. Partita molto bene, Italia 1, molto veloce anche la Cina, ma è lì attaccata anche Italia 2, quindi una bella partenza. Ricordiamo che la Gran Bretagna è campione europeo in carica, oltre che campione olimpico in carica. Praticamente 6 equipaggi sulla stessa linea quando è passato poco più di un minuto dalla luce verde alla partenza.
Approaching the 500 meter mark, and Tim, hope you and Alexandra have managed to keep some energy to our last race of the day, flying through with less than a second, all 6 crews coming up to 500.
Fantastic to end the day's racing with the men's 8, such a fast event, and GB, the European champions, across 500 meters gone first. That Chinese crew, again another development crew from the People's Republic of China, going off the blocks quickly, but now settling into that pace, coming 5th across 500. Germany, if you're German, you'll know that green boat, Es ist Akta-Zeit. They are absolutely flying, that new combination from Germany, looking to improve that 4th place result from the Europeans and get on the podium, and they are doing everything they can at the moment to make that happen. Italy, of course, 2 8s in this race from the Italian Federation. It is Italy 1 now closest to the podium. I think their bronze medal position at the moment, coming through 800 meters gone. It is GB still leading ahead of the Germans, and keep a close eye on the crew from Australia on the far side. Not the quickest crew to qualify for this A final, but it's a young and talented crew from Australia, so we'll keep a close eye on them in the final part of this race. The Chinese now starting to feel the strain as Great Britain steps it up, going with them, Germany, and of course the crew from Italy, still in that same order across 1,000 meters.
Ultima gara della giornata, gara più veloce e gara forse più combattuta, perché ci sono ancora tutti gli equipaggi uno di fianco all'altro, ed è meraviglioso vedere questo tipo di gare, perché si mantiene alta l'attenzione fino alla fine. Siamo ancora pieni di energia e adrenalina per seguire questa gara fino all'ultimo metro. Troviamo in testa la Gran Bretagna, che con 38 colpi al minuto cerca di resistere agli attacchi della Germania, che è attualmente in seconda posizione a pochi metri dalla loro barca, seguita però, attenzione, da una bellissima Italia con Abagnale chiedo scusa, questo è l'equipaggio dell'Italia 2 con Codato, Di Colandrea, Gardino, Abagnale, Scalzone, Pallozzi, Monfrecola e Comini. Bravissimi ragazzi per resistere continuamente agli attacchi delle altre nazioni. Troviamo anche però l'altro equipaggio italiano che sta difendendo molto bene e non molla un colpo. Leggermente più attardati invece troviamo l'equipaggio australiano e l'equipaggio cinese, ma ora ci stiamo avvicinando agli ultimi 600 metri di gara ed è tutto da vedere.
They're storming towards you, Richie, at the finish, about to cross into the final quarter. Still GB leading, just slightly under a second ahead of Germany and Italy, won for the gold, silver and the bronze. But so many crews so close, and the sprints are unfolding. I see race 42 from Italy too. Great stuff in the final, a final of the day.
Always a question about where can they go with their sprint finish. They're already up at 42, but we know the Italians love a sprint finish in the run-in towards the line. Question is, can they get back into contention for the silver medal with the German crew? And can that German crew in turn put pressure on Great Britain as they come in towards the finish? Looking good so far. Great Britain gold position. Germany in second. Italy one, looking good for bronze.
Finale incandescente per questa finale dell'otto maschile, con l'Inghilterra che mantiene mezza lunghezza di vantaggio su un preponderante equipaggio tedesco che cerca di rifarsi dal quarto posto degli europei. Adesso vediamo se Italia 1 riuscirà a fare un rush finale incredibile come quello in terra bulgara, dove riuscì a sopravanzare l'ammiraglia tedesca, ma in questo momento è terza la loro posizione, ottima la prova degli azzurri, quarta posizione per l'altra ammiraglia azzurra, ma la Germania sta cercando di attaccare l'Inghilterra in questo momento, quando mancano pochissimi metri al traguardo. Inghilterra che cerca di resistere, Germania insiste, prova ad accelerare gli ultimi metri, ma è la prua inglese a tagliare il traguardo. In prima posizione, seconda posizione Germania, terza Italia 1, quarto Italia 2.
What an unbelievable finish there from the crew from Germany, putting it up to Great Britain, but they just had enough to hold on. 5:24 the time there for Great Britain. Just by about a canvas, the German crew pushed into the silver medal position. A really great race for them. Great to see them back in the medal mix here for Germany, picking up the silver ahead of the Italian crew. Italy 1 taking the bronze medal ahead of their countrymen. Italy 2 taking the fourth position ahead of Australia and the People's Republic of China, the young development crew coming in sixth position. But no doubt about the winners there. They didn't have it all their own way though. GB take the win, but they were under pressure from the crew from Germany, holding on and doing just enough to secure that gold medal. So it's gold for Great Britain to close out the regatta. Germany taking the silver, Italy taking the bronze. The victory ceremony for the women's singles sculls. The medal will be presented by World Rowing Executive Director Vincent Galliard, accompanied by Varese Rowing Vice President Claudio Minazzi. Winner of the bronze medal, representing China, Liu Riku. Winner of the silver medal, representing Germany, Juliana Faralish. Winner of the gold medal, representing Great Britain, Lauren Henry. Varese, give it up for your bronze medalist, People's Republic of China. Your silver medalist, Germany. And your gold medalist, Great Britain.
Lauren, wow! You just won another gold. European champ, now the World Cup. What are you expecting it?
I was just going out there and trying to race my best race, and I felt like I executed something that was pretty good, so I'm really pleased with that.
You know this lake really well. You've been training here for so long. How is racing on a lake that you know so well?
Yeah, it's pretty special actually. We do a training camp here every year, so it's kind of like our home away from home. We spend our summer here, so yeah, it's really nice to come here and race, and this is the 4th time I've raced here and the first time I've won, so that's pretty nice.
Well, and at the World Champ, you'll be back in the quad or you stick with a single?
I think at the moment, I don't know, but I'll probably still be in the single, I would think, but who knows.
Thank you very much, Lauren. And again, congratulations.
the victory ceremony for the men's 8. The medals will be presented by World Rowing President Jean-Christophe Roland, accompanied by General Manager Organising Committee Pierpaolo Frattini. Winners of the bronze medal, Italy, represented by Davide Comini, Salvatore Monificola, Francesco Palozzi, Alfonso Scalzone, Giovanni Apignale, Alexandra Gardino, Nunzio de Colandre, Giovanni Cordato, and Alexandria Fella. Winners of the silver medal, Germany, represented by Paul Klapperidge, Matthias Schönenher, Benedikt Eglin, Tobias Strangmann, Olaf Rogensack, Julius Christ, Sonke Cruz, Thies Heigemeister, and Jonas Weissen. Winners of the gold medal, Great Britain, represented by William Stewart, Matthew Rowe, Miles Beeson, Fergus Woolnough, David Berwick Copley, Samuel Nunn, Matt Aldridge, Archie Drummond, and William Dennegree. Varese, give it up for your bronze medalists, Italy. Your silver medalists, Germany. And your gold medalists, Great Britain. Well, what an amazing 3 days we have had here at World Cup Varese. This event and this venue never fails to deliver a magnificent regatta. Absolutely fantastic. Congratulations to all the crews, coaches, medalists, those of us that are victorious in Varese. And a huge thank you to our official partners for helping hosting this event, along with all of the officials and the volunteers for their hard work and dedication over the last 3 days and in the run-up to this event as well. Next up for us is World Cup Lucerne later on this month. But once again, congratulations, safe home to everyone, and well done.
E si conclude così questa 3 giorni meravigliosa di canottaggio qui, la prima Coppa del Mondo di Varese. 3 giornate fantastiche, grandi emozioni, grandi performance da parte delle atlete e degli atleti. Un ringraziamento particolare a tutti i volontari, al comitato organizzatore, a tutti i partner che hanno lavorato per far sì che tutto funzionasse al meglio. Grazie a tutti gli appassionati per il sostegno che avete dato alle prestazioni e alle gare delle atlete e degli atleti. Un cordiale saluto da parte di Rossano e da tutto il canottaggio, soprattutto quello azzurro, lasciatemi dire, sono un po' di parte.